Hey, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy, I'm One for Orange, back at it again with episode 4 of 300 Turns, featuring PvE content. We're just going to hop right into it today. I'm here with Smooge. You know Smooge. Say what's up, Smooge.
What's up, Smooge?
That's Smooge. And we also have two special guests today. One of them smells like shit. What's good, Kip?
Hey, why'd you say that? Hello, what's up? It's me,
Holy
Kip
crap,
Drordy.
he was way louder than he was before.
Uh-oh. I got close to my mic, I'm sorry.
You're fine, you're fine.
It's good, it's good. And then we also have the Illumination leader, the one and only Lemon. Say what's up, bro.
Hello, Lemon account was taken in PPO, so otherwise I'd be running that username. But we chilling.
We chillin'.
Chillin'.
So this is 300 Turns, and this is a podcast. It features Smooge and other special guests, as we mentioned. And in this podcast, we'll be going over a variety of topics in the Pokemon planet, usually the competitive scene, but this episode is taking a bit of a curveball. We'll be focusing on PvE content, like I said. Well, you guys know where to find Smooge. He has a bigger channel than I, Mr. Big Boy here. But if you don't know where to find Smooge, his channel links will be in the description to go check him out. Kip, I'll be sure to link your Twitch, but there's no chance people don't know you stream on Twitch.
I do.
You gonna be posting anything on
Big
YouTube? Should I
streamer.
link your YouTube?
Oh yeah, YouTube once a year. That's
Make sure
me.
the thumbs up the multiple thousand egg video.
Okay, dude. Easter egg
Wait,
crack.
actually, part 2 for Easter?
Oh, I don't think I can grind that much this year.
That's true. I mean,
Unless
maybe people will
Unity.
give you stuff. Ooh. Lime, do you want me to put any of your socials in the description?
No, I'm good. I don't have anything, bro.
Who wrote Monkey One?
Don't worry about it.
All right. Well, as mentioned, we're gonna hop right in with PvE grinding, and I don't exactly know how to start this section, but we'll go right into Overworld grinding. And as you can see on Smooge's screen, we're all here grinding Suicune.
Yep, because Suicune is the best Pokemon in the game.
I guess, like, just straight up, how do you guys like grinding in the game right now?
It's fine.
Bland and tedious is how I would describe it right now for me.
We're all
feel like-
long-time players. Yeah.
I feel like it really just depends on who you're asking, though. Like you just said, we're all pretty long time players. Whereas if you were to talk to somebody who just got the game, they'd probably think it's a good idea. But
I mean, the grinding scene is still kind of active too. Like, as soon as we all pulled up here at Water Cavern, someone dropped honey. So it's not like, it's not like grinding is super boring for everyone. People are still having fun. Granted, it's the guy with the Suicune mask and the Suicune mount that dropped the honey, but
Suicune wants his Suicune now.
yeah, he's strapped and ready to go.
Oh,
But,
hold on.
hold up.
There. Now we're talking.
You put something on your
Oh
screen
my!
or something?
Of course he did. Of course he did. All right.
Tracking Suicune with the bitches.
Ooh.
Oh.
But I was about to say, it really just doesn't help as the years go by when there's the same hunts everywhere in the map, and eventually you're gonna get everything, and then you're at the point like there's nothing to really grind for.
I really want like
But-
new legends in the grass, man.
Yep. I would say the addition of legendary eggs made it a little bit less fun to grind. It made it so everything you're hunting for is worth a little bit less, is how I'd put it. So it's just like when I'm grinding, if I'm trying to make money, it's more I'm just killing things rather than actually finding something worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, one thing I used to do when I was kind of starting out is I have this listed as a point I'll be talking about too coming up, but I used to grind the hell out of Outer Pinwheel Forest. I still think it's kind of fun, but I don't know. Even selling timbers, man. I remember I sold like a few adamant timbers with good IVs for like 8 mil a pop back in the day. Like, you can't do that anymore.
No,
Damn.
definitely not. Unless
Even
it's like straight up
even
god
like this
IV.
timid Suicune dude, if we encounter this, it's like not worth that much, despite it being extremely good in PvP right now.
Yeah, there's a really good like 29 plus timid Suicune on global market for like 29 mil. I was honestly considered buying it.
That's a little that's like, even that's like expensive for the new economy though. Is what's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Like, you could low-key say that would be an overpay to buy, even though it's such a good mon.
I mean, that's a really good point though, because the way I made most of my money for multiple years, I mean, up until like what 2019 or 2020, like all I'd ever do is sell my mons that I'd hunt. Like I'd always run grind everywhere, and obviously things happened. Like Hunter Charm got nerfed, run grind, got completely
Oh,
blown to the ground because of failed to run. But the mons have gone so down in price. It's actually crazy.
Smooge, did you play much before the failed to run update, or was that kind of like right when you started?
I think I joined like a few days before, or a few days after that update.
Yeah, because that was like summer 2020 when everything changed.
I started playing in like September.
what an awful update.
Hey man, yeah, I would say that that was. I know a lot of people have different opinions, but that has to be in my eyes the worst update that I've seen in this game. I think.
So, what exactly, I guess, do you think made it? I mean, so we're still trying to be on the topic, I guess, of like the state of grinding in the game. What do you think it was about that update that made it really, really bad to grind? And the reason I ask, I'm not like trying to bait a question. I only played for probably 4 months myself before that update, to be fair. So I didn't really get to like abuse the run grinding before. So what was it like?
So initially, when the Hunter Charm dropped, it was very powerful, like too good, I would say. And along with the fact that you could run grind, forever with anything, not even you didn't need a charm back then. You didn't need the Hunter Charm. You could do it with a shiny egg. You could do it with anything. But people were getting a lot of mons like really fast, and obviously making money out of it. So I think he felt as if it was necessary to add fail to run, not only to get rid of like the amount of encounters people are getting, but also just to kind of promote kill grinding in a way. Because I know a big thing that has been trying to be focused on is just getting money back into the game through kill grinding. But
That
you
same
know,
update was when they nerfed Illuminate too, in case anyone isn't aware.
I know.
Like
Yeah,
Illuminate used to give you 100% cash on kills, and after this exact same update, it started only giving you 50% cash per kill.
I did not know that.
Oh, I didn't see that in the patch notes.
yeah.
I just thought that was always there.
Kill
I
grinding.
hope I'm not speaking on my ass. I'm pretty sure that's true.
I mean, I believe you. So I just know, yeah, you do make half if you use Illuminate. And with that, I guess update. The fail to run was worse when it came out. It was 10% fail instead of 5.
So
And
I
then
guess
Hunter, it didn't have the like automatic you can run. It was like -50, and you still had the chance to fail to run. So you
that
like
got
double
changed
nerfed
quickly
it.
though. Yeah,
Yeah.
he reverted that so fast.
Yeah.
But that's still true. That's still true. Okay, so I guess the interesting question I have is, so the objective of that update in your eyes, Lime, was like, he's trying to slow down encounters a little bit, trying to get, it seems like maybe less Pokemon into the game or whatnot, maybe to protect the value of mons. But I look at that update as a player that started really paying attention around that time. That was the time where Pokemon started crashing in value, though. Like, that was the time where Azelf and Latios, those used to sell for like 80 mil during that time. You can get a timid Latios these days for 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought my
wonder
timid
what did
Latios for
that.
14.
So I don't know. Do you think it was like part of the exact like PvE? Like if let's look at IV gems, okay? A little bit of a
Yeah.
tangent. I'm sorry to like throw it there, but if this update went through without IV gems, do you think it would have worked to protect the value of the mons?
It's
No.
hard to say. I would say no still, because it's not really a matter of like that update specifically being the cause of the price of mons, because the community was already kind of losing players a little bit. It was on the decline, somewhat. I wouldn't say completely, But and with there being so many people that just accumulate mons, forever, the values were already significantly decreasing. Like back in the day, I know this is a little personal anecdote, and I'm gonna get clowned on for it, but
I'm a boomer.
I had the Zapdos. I was hunting Zapdos. I got Timid Zap, and that was worth like 100 mil plus at the time, right?
Damn.
Obviously that value decreased, significantly, like, but it was 100 mil for a while. And more people get mons, and it keeps decreasing. They don't get released, so it's not like they're getting removed from the game. Yeah, but yeah, then fail to run happens. Like, I think the damage was already done, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, for sure. That makes sense.
But
Dang,
IV
so
gems are huge.
that to
thing.
me seems like it was the nail in the coffin. That's kind of why I brought it up.
I think there was a combination. It's IV gems, there's move bank, there's the change to like clan wars. You only need one mon now because you've got everything, so you can sell the other one if you had one. So it just like makes it more accessible to everybody, which I mean is fine, but it just drives that price down overall is how I see it. But
This isn't exactly part of the script, but I guess since we're kind of on this note of the economy, and I think hunting Pokemon is directly related to it, like in the sense that you brought up a good point that makes me bring it up. Before this Clan Wars change in particular, I had 3 Rotom washes, like one for each tier, and I grinded that whole Halloween event for the T1 wash. And obviously, sunk cost fallacy is exactly that, but I guess the question I'm trying to wage is, do you think the economy is actually in a good spot right now at all? Like, and do you think it kind of has to do with the grinding not being enjoyable for these mons, or anyone have kind of a response to maybe some of those thoughts? It's not really a well-phrased question.
I think the new T1 definitely gave value to new Pokemon, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I
that
agree
tier
with
one definitely added like a little bit of a market to some of the niche mons. You see Empoleons going super high, Crocodiles for a while, not Adamant for World Boss, but for PvE Jollies or PvP Jollies and other things like that. But I do feel like the economy right now as a whole is kind of depending on who you're talking to, it could be either really good or really bad. As a new player, if you're going in and trying to get a full team for anything, whether that be PvP or just, getting through the game, you could probably buy a team for a few million. Whereas previously that would be, 10 million, 20 million for a good team.
Yeah, the Rotom wash alone would cost you like 5-6 mil because people needed 3.
I
yeah.
hate Rotom.
Here's a solution. No, I'm kidding. I was gonna suggest like make it so you can prestige a poke, but then it's locked on your account. That gets rid of everybody having things to sell, stuff like that. So you have to lock
You
it if you want to
troll.
prestige it, and then that'll make it so everything goes up. All the legends, everything else goes down.
All right, so I guess the general response to that sounds like, maybe the economy is not the best, but we did see an improvement with the T1 changes, and I agree. I don't know, this is also not in the script. I'm kind of just flying with it, but what do you think about introducing another lower tier or another metagame? Like, let's talk maybe if it's not RU, which is, the tier below UU. If it's not that, what about doubles? Do you think those implementations would help?
I don't know about doubles, but I do think a tier below, UU would be cool. But I don't know how well received that would be.
Yeah, people already look at UU as poverty tier. I
do
think it's
know
fun.
that doubles would help with certain TMs. I think a lot of TMs will start seeing usage with that, but it's not like it's going to completely revive the economy just because a few TMs gain price.
Oh my god, Protect TM is going to skyrocket like a motherfucker.
Yeah. Things like, well, once certain abilities and certain moves actually work, as a lot of them don't currently. Skill swap, all those different niche moves for doubles. And effective like area effect moves like Surf and Earthquake will probably go up as well, but
Trick
Surface
Room.
3, of course, Trick Room, yeah.
And then
Here comes
I
a
guess
good
I
one,
was.
actually. Cresselia will skyrocket. This.
I know someone that has 100 TM recycles that they're stockpiling for berries.
Oh, I'm the same way with Auroraville TMs. I'm stockpiling for that day that Ninetales finally exists, and that
Yeah, keep dreaming.
dude, it's an entire archetype. It has to go up, right?
It has to. It simply has to.
Only
So
all
this
your
seemed off
Auroravilles.
topic, and I didn't mean to get that off topic, but I really think that some of these ideas we brought up here, whether it's grinding for a new tier and even the T1 changes, I think it can really impact how enjoyable grinding is. Like, even for us as endgame players. I think, like, not to put words in your mouth, Kip, I think you're the one person in this call that absolutely wouldn't care. I guess if, like, a tier below you was added, I don't think you do PvP like that right now, but I'm definitely motivated by it.
Yeah, you're right in that regard. I think adding something like another sort of PvP section somehow, some way, just make it so like certain mons are like not have to be used, but like give them usage. Things like that would help out, people grinding, because then, people that are playing PvP will want to buy things. But it's just like it's not a buyer's market right now. It's definitely like whenever I go to trade, I usually just see selling, 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 selling. It's not really
Yeah.
any buying. So
And it's
Smooge can
interesting.
probably show the trade chat right now. I guarantee you that's all it is.
unless it's
Uh,
ER eggs.
I don't know if I can
yeah,
show you
and it's so weird because it is a really good time to buy mons too. It's just there's not that much demand for it. And like people seem content with what they have too. I don't know. I'm the type that's like always trying out new teams and whatnot. So it's kind of a good time for me to be able to like low key not spend much money to get good mons. Like I bought a shiny IV Metagross today.
Oh crap!
It's like all IVs over 26. And that cost me 10 mil. Like the roll is 7.5. It's like
I just leaked my clan chat for like 30 seconds or half a second, so you're gonna have to cut that part out.
I can yeah, just let me know. I'll cut it out in post. No worries. No worries.
See,
It's cool.
I just wanted to open the trade chat so you can see.
Yeah, but it's weird. You said it's not a buyer's economy, and I guess that's true because not as many people are buying. But the people who need to, like noobs, I guess they're having a good time.
Yeah, so I guess like that's what I meant. Like everybody's selling, nobody's really buying. At least saying that they're buying. Because obviously I would want to buy things right now, but I don't buy things. So I let
So
everybody else do that.
the other interesting part with having you in the podcast in particular, Kip, and I guess Lime too, is me and Smooge obviously we're really into the PvP scene right now. So I guess spawns like that would motivate us, and that would make possibly grinding more enjoyable if there was a new format to grind for in PvP. Just hip fire on the spot question: is there anything that would make grinding more enjoyable for you right now, like a new mon or something to go for? Because I see you're not going for the cat mount.
Yeah, the cat mount is definitely not something to grind for. Maybe he adds a new region where you can grind for cats only. But
Sure.
in terms of mons, I have always wanted to see the 3 Gen 3 legends, Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza. I don't care if they're not able to be used anywhere, just as like dexing purposes only, just to like have it. Maybe I could use it in like Battle Tower or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But like that's
that'd
the
be good
only place you
maneuvers,
can
that's for
use
sure.
it. But like I just think it would be cool to have certain mons. Like
Lime,
'cause, I
any
mean
any
PvP,
comments?
but
I think those legends are something that need to be added to this game eventually. And my problem or my thought about all of that is like there's been talk about raids for a long time, and I know we have this in a potential future topic, but that was kind of where those mons were going to be derived from. And I know it might not be a good idea, it might not be a bad idea, but I feel like until we see raids, we won't be seeing those mons, which is, in my opinion, a negative thing a little bit.
I would agree.
Not to skip to raids, but like, I'm scared he's gonna put literally everything in raids, and I think that's a really bad idea.
I think a lot of things can be in raids, but I've been putting thought into this more. But I really think the genies in particular really should be overworld grindable. Like,
Yeah,
and
same.
it's so kind of controversial to say that in a way, because you know Brody wants raids to be successful. So the one thing he's going to want to put there to have people go to raids is the most popular legends that are missing from the game, which is the genies. But I really do think grinding kind of needs a bone right now, like general grinding in the overworld. Like, I would still go to raids if Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina were all there, without a doubt. But I would have a much better time if I guess I didn't have to rely on a system that I didn't know how was going to be implemented right now. And I think the genies are really perfect for overworld grinding.
Speaking of Giratina, please, for the love of God, please take it out of only world boss. Oh my God.
No, keep it there. I like it there.
I was okay, dude. Okay.
Give it origin form too.
I was gonna comment on that. Giratina is easily my favorite legend, and making it Halloween boss exclusives kind of deterred me from trying to get it a little bit. Obviously, I've gotten world boss stuff for that purpose, but I do want to be able to hunt it. Literally, it could be put in the Origin Cave or whatever it is in Sinnoh, and it would be fun, in my opinion. But
yeah,
world boss, ew.
I think this is a good place to go into our next topic too, which is maybe talking about some of the new features that were added to the game, which I know we kind of dabbled around this already, but I'll just preface it by saying, like, I do think new content in the game is really, really good, and Brody should, in my opinion, be encouraged to do stuff like this more often, even if it's something I don't necessarily go for, like the cat mount was just added to the game a week ago. I do think it breathed a little bit of life back into the game, which was much needed.
Yeah, I mean, the first day cat mount dropped, you saw the whole map going to Kindle Road. Just all grinding for that. That was kind of funny.
I think stuff like that should actually be added more, like 100%.
don't mind that.
Yeah, making small mount additions like that where you can actually grind for it, I think is very good for the state of the game. Not necessarily is it going to be like a huge, change, but it will give people like a little sense of excitement when they're hunting mons. Like, oh, I randomly killed this Meowth and now I have a $20 million mount in my inventory, and it can just happen. You can do things like that for any type of Pokemon, or like even certain types where you kill water type Pokemon, you get a random mount. But those mounts in specific aren't necessarily mounts and cosmetics aren't necessarily gonna save the game's population, though, is my concern. I feel like that's a huge focus that has been put on recently, is the mounts.
What it opens up, though, to me is the fact that, before this update, Kindle Road to me was kind of, and I never used it, like that's how niche of a spot this was. It was a solo Ponyta spot, so you could grind a Ponyta for a little cup. That was all Kindle Road was used for. But now, since this update dropped, if we can kind of use the idea of the update to show that maybe there's something here, like the fact that people go to Kindle Road now is interesting to me. Even though it's a mount or a cosmetic that won't really help the game or the player base, the idea of adding these drops to low-key areas, I think is good if this is how you maybe want to implement berries or other items in the future. Like something that more has to do with Pokemon rather than cosmetics. But I truly think the idea worked, like in making a not populated area populated.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I even got caught going there. Like it did, in fact, make people go there, and I think that's good. But some of the areas in the game, obviously, Kindle Road has the cats on it, so it's convenient. Um,
Hmm.
I feel like still there are some maps that just won't see any play, and that's simply because of the spawns. And it's not bad, like, but it's not like every aspect of the game needs to be, extravagant and I need route whatever to be perfect for me. But
Well,
I
that's a
do
good
think
transition too into the next topic. Actually, sorry to cut you off, buddy.
you're good.
But yeah, I think there are some places that are really interesting to grind in though, like already in the game. And I think you can kind of look at those as, like you said, we're gonna have duds in the game naturally, like half the Unova routes, I think, or maybe better one is like no one's grinding really in Johto. Too.
Unova really needs some love. I'm gonna be honest. That
Yeah,
map
that's what I
is
was thinking.
that map is rough.
Nah, Unova has Watchog. Best mon to hunt.
Oh, shiny adamant.
I have pretty much five maps here. Six if you count one that I lumped together. Of places that I think the spawns are really good, really rewarding. And I think maybe a spawn rework could be considered for a lot of the other maps, inspired by, I think, Ancient Cave in general. I know that was Anub's rework. He did awesome, though, in my opinion. I think Ancient Cave is still really rewarding to this day. And it maybe even aged better with the T1 changes.
I like Ancient Cave.
End Castle, too, being a nice place. I'll just go through the list and let everyone talk. Outer Pinwheel Forest, Hoenn and Sinnoh Safari Zone. I think those are just, honestly, for 400k a day, it's kind of steep in this economy, but the spawns are really good in both those safari zones. And then me and Smooge put down Mew Island 9, because that's the Snorlax map with no Skorupi.
Oh, yeah, I like Mew map. It's one of those places where I can use Watchog and use its trapping stuff so it can like get the abras, all that. It's really good to just kind of kill grind there. It's really easy. I can mindlessly grind. So I agree with that one. Altering Cave can be okay. It just has to hit the lottery. So that's kind of how it is. And then for early game players, if they're trying to get like Gibbles and stuff, but for, once you've got all that, it's kind of just like, I don't want to go in there anymore. Because there's not like the guaranteed legend or like better legend odds. It's like a legend once a month in there. So that's how I see that. But all the other ones, yeah, Ancient Cave is really good. I think it's definitely worth, getting both halves to get in there. It's definitely rewarding. End Castle, 500 decks. I think that's definitely reasonable and to do. And then Outer Pinwheel, you've been talking about it. And then obviously the Safaris they got the starters and whatnot. So those are stuff people always buy.
So, Kip, in the first few minutes of this recording, you mentioned that grinding as a whole wasn't the most exciting to you right now. But
Correct.
then you mentioned you liked Mew Island 9. Like, even in the state of the game right now, do you still like maps like that? Like, does that make you excited to grind on?
So me right now, I'm trying to get like all the decks. So if I wasn't trying to get all decks, I would probably just camp Mew a lot because even if you get a bad Mew, it's still worth good money because of World Boss. So it's like one of those things where like you can grind it. It's not too bad if it's not in like where there's golem spawns and stuff, but for the most part, it's pretty easy unless you're just run grinding the whole time, which that's also really easy too. But yeah, that's where I would probably sit if I wasn't hunting decks, and I'd be just fine. Hunting decks is that's why it's became tedious, is because now I'm just kind of hunting mons I don't like. So that's where that came from.
Yeah, the dang pixies.
Yep.
I definitely think Mew's a really good hunt because of World Boss specifically. Any Mew you get can be sold pretty easily. I use a lonely Mew for World Boss, and I have I have no problems with it.
Yeah. Mew map for the longest time. I don't know how many people I'm gonna disrupt their money making methods with this, but Mew map was, I would argue, easily the most profitable map for a super long period of time, purely based on just the Abra sinks, the Eldum sinks, any Mew nature, like you guys have been saying, is usable everywhere. You can use it as an elite killer. You can use that as a world boss mon, PvP. Walling legends. I'm using Mew in pretty much all my PvE teams, and just the fact that it's like diverse as well. Like if you want Snorlax leftovers, Island 9. If you want Caesar, Scyther, Island 1, or whatever you want, it's all there. It's a very good map.
Yeah, not to mention that Mew can run a lot of natures. So like, say you want a bold Amoonguss, but you don't really mind like a bold Mew, right? Like you can go to Mew map on the Fungus Day, you know?
Yeah, actually, a Mew does have a lot of viable natures. I know you can definitely, if it gets unbanned in T1, I'm running Modest Mew,
I doubt it'll
Rock
get unbanned
Polish
T1.
sets.
Unbanned.
If it gets
I
unbanned.
I kind of always use the thought process that neutral Mew is some of the worst nature that you could get. Whereas usually some people would take neutral Mew, but I just feel
I
like even
sold
getting like gentle or lax, you can do something with that.
like I sold a quiet one for 10 mil. Like not bad. A quiet Mew.
Yeah, that's
That I was
crazy.
sinking adamant for.
Trick Room Mew. Nah, just World Boss Mew.
Yeah, exactly. Like World Boss Mew is just it's so good. Because
I think another one of the places that you mentioned, End Castle Basement, uh, that was probably one of the best areas that have been added to the game in recent times. I know I say recent, but because previously, you'd always go to Power Plant for Zapdos, and they didn't really have uh, Pokemon that went with the Bold Sync, right? Bold Zapdos gained significant popularity. I don't know when. I didn't really play PvP right when Bold Zapdos became popular, but because usually it used to be Timid, like I said before. I was hunting Timid when I got mine, but now with Bold Zapdos being added and End Castle Basement having Wash Rotom, Klefki, like super good spawns there. Um, a lot of people go there still. I'm currently hunting that. Obviously, I'm in Suicune right now, but don't
We're
have
all
many.
five in here.
Yeah.
Not to mention too, I guess. Oh shoot, I was gonna say something. I forgot my train of thought actually. Had to do with Zapdos, damn. Oh well, Zeton.
Bold Zeton.
Bold Zeton.
011C. If you're watching this, leave a comment below. Tell us your favorite Zeton.
Dude, Zeton moments.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't worry about it.
So there's a player in PPO. He calls Zapdos Zeton. I think it's the funniest thing.
Oh.
He's an icon. I will
So
be purchasing a
actually,
Zapdos.
the only thing I was gonna say was about the End Castle basement room. I know you run grind there, Lion, but that is one of the most rewarding kill grinding places too. Like if kill grinding is rewarding right now, it's in that room. That's my. I know me and you disagree kind of on that opinion because you really don't like kill grinding.
I mean, this is another thing. I said before, run grinding used to be insanely profitable, and it made you a lot of money. That's how I got a lot of my wealth in this game. But with the Hunter Charm taking away $50 every time you get an encounter, and just Mons being valued so low, I strongly advise against or I was gonna say kill grinding. Strongly advise against run grinding because you will be losing money regardless, no matter what you do, unless you get insanely lucky, which rarely happens. Pokemon Planet is the most RNG game that you can possibly find. I mean, if you're gonna hunt something and look for profit, you should always be kill grinding. Because right now, at least whenever I hunt something like even with Zapdos, I'm always losing money there. It's just how it is, but at the cost of getting them on faster. So
a little late into the video to transition into this topic, but it is the next topic. And what I want to go into next is kind of on a tangent of maybe where you were going to, a few tips for new players. So we were talking about a lot of end game places to grind and the most rewarding places. Put your shoes, like you're a new player again. What advice would you give for maybe giving a place to grind for new players? I think it's Mew, actually. Like, grind up the money for a Mew map. Yeah.
Oh, new players going for Mew?
I mean, is that a bad take? I don't think it's that hard to grind to that level.
Depends on how new, I guess. I don't know if
I feel like the acquisition of the Mew map itself may be difficult, but I do agree, kind of.
You gotta beat Sinnoh to go there, right?
Only Hoenn. That's why I was kind of thinking it's not as bad.
I was more along the lines thinking of like Kanto player type beat, but
usually I'm just like, go learn how to synchronize, like learn how that works. That's usually the biggest thing that I.
So why don't you guys start it there then? Yeah.
The first thing I did when I was new, like when I was grinding for something, I specifically went for things where I can mine at the same time, so that I always had a profit. I needed money when I was new, Now, mining is definitely not a really amazing way of making money, but it's definitely something,
Mining.
We will be talking about mining, but I'm gonna avoid mining for right now, so we can talk about that later. I was gonna say, I think one of my main goals in just games in general, and I think one of the goals many people should have in this game, is learning to be self-sufficient. Especially when your inventory is purely dependent on how much you play, how efficiently you're doing things, and how fast you can acquire what you need. A lot of people don't know, like Kip said, how to synchronize. Sync Pokemon are something you need, I would argue, everywhere. It's just about making sure you don't struggle and spend days and days looking for something only to fail because you never sync, right?
Yeah, I even bring a sync to World Boss if I can.
You're nuts.
Oh, that's a hot take.
Where's the slot for that?
Hey man, listen, I only have like one shuckle. I don't need the other space.
Get another
what's on the map first.
Oh no!
So I've seen people get things while looking for the world boss. Like, wasn't there an Azelf the other week?
Oh.
While this guy was looking for the
He's
world
not
boss?
wrong. There has been situations.
That's crazy.
I'm not trying to be that guy.
So I guess even more like early game advice. When you need syncs, I would buy Algems and Behemoths off GM. Like, don't roll Ralts looking for a sync. Not to solo anyone out. Sorry to the one person if you watch this video and you feel called out. I
do right now, man. I was pay to play when I first started.
Well, I got a PM last week, and they were rolling Ralts from Casino for a timid sync, and they took 5 Ralts to finally get a timid one, and it was Trace, and they wanted to cap it to sync. And I'm just thinking in my head, that's like gotta be one of the worst things you can do and invest in as a new player. Like, that's such a huge money dump when you can just go to GM and buy really cheap timid sync.
Yeah, you buy the syncs that people find at Mew.
Exactly.
Speaking of Mew, that's your slot right there. There's your world boss slot. Your Mew is sync.
Oh, true. Just
have a Mew of every type,
and then you don't run the items
Mad
on
season
it.
Moments.
You'll never get fucked.
I feel like you bring up like an insanely good point, Tyler. I'm realizing just now how far into different concepts we can go in this video, but we won't reach all of them. But there are so many different things you can do along those lines.
Yeah, for sure. Like, another thing I was gonna say too is, like, as a new player, I was gonna do advice like, hey, grinding around 12 or 16, you can get leftovers. I think if you watch, and this is my take, this is my opinion, if you watch a video or listen to a guide where people tell you to go grind route 12 or 16 for leftovers as a new player, I think that's really bad advice, personally. Because, sure, you can get the 1 and 20 leftovers drop, but you could also be progressing through the game to get to these really good spawn areas with your time. I don't think leftovers is like these guides to me.
Worth.
Yeah, they were written at a time where leftovers was still 3 to 4 mil, which is a very good amount of money. Leftovers is not worth that anymore.
It's barely hitting a mil.
Exactly. Yeah. And you need that as a new player. Like, honestly, if you're going to get into PvP in any capacity, and even for PvE, you know, sub Gyarados is going to beat a lot of gyms for you, or at least the Unova Elite Four in particular, which is super endgame. So I'm kind of going on a tangent there. But leftovers are an item that you may eventually need, you know.
Indeed.
Yeah, when I was new, I did actually. When I was doing my decks, actually, when I was grinding for Mossy and Castle, I leveled up my Mons on the Unova Route 16, which has Snorlax. Since everything was a high level there, I ended up actually getting a few Snorlax, and I got 3 leftovers there just from like you know, I was multitasking. So if,
yeah, I know
if
that
you wanna,
route.
Yeah, I'd say if you wanna do decks, I would definitely do it there because you actually can get a profit off it or something you need, you know. And you just level up your Mons.
Yeah, that's the Watchog route that I grinded for a while. It's just one of those things, like, as Tyler said, like, if you progress, you know, you'll just get up to areas that have better spots to grind for leftovers rather than grinding for only Snorlax. It's like a hit or miss, like you're boom or bust in that route, instead of like where Smooge was talking about, like, you know, Route 16, you can get a Snorlax, or you can get a shiny Watchog where people use that for Illuminate kill grinding, things like that. There's just other things that you can get besides just Snorlax. So it's just smarter to progress, find routes that are just good for multiple things rather than just singular mons in general.
I got a Thunderbolt TM there from Mareep too, and right above it is Lost or what's that place called? Lost One Forest. I got a chest there too.
Ooh.
I think it was only I think I got a ability cap or something like that. So it's definitely a nice area.
Thoughts, Lyle?
I'll also say, like, in terms of talking about like more older guides and whatnot, so like if you're watching this video now, maybe you're an older player returning, wondering about the state of the game, or you're a new player trying to make it through the game. Apologies for this part of the video being 40 minutes in, if so, but I don't think the actual mons you need, though, changed much. Like, I still think Gengar, Gardevoir, Gyarados is kind of the meta for beating the game. So working on getting those to beat the game is pretty good. I don't think much has changed there, though, right, guys? Like, you still kind of
really,
use
and
those.
then, like, Flash, Magnetite, or whatever, Magneton,
Magnezone.
And then
Oh, I remember, dude.
Yeah.
I still have those on my PC because I first joined this game in like 2016, and that's what I was doing to beat the gyms like way back then, and then I quit at Hone. I remember I beat Hone Elite Four with like a level 60 Gyarados.
pretty sure, like, back
That's
then you used to
kinda
be able to
nuts.
baton pass too and stuff. And it was just
Baton Pass did exist.
Yeah.
I beat Sinnoh Elite Four using absolute garbage with Baton Pass.
Baton Pass.
I used
Dang.
yeah, I definitely used Smeargle and like minimize.
Yeah. I think if we're still on the topic of new players for the time being, it is important as a person who is looking to play an MMO such as this to just pace yourself, though. This is another thing I wanted to say. A lot of people go and try to expect to get to the top. Oh, GZ, Kip Drordy.
Congrats.
wow, a shiny timid X-Cloud. Woo!
A lot of people tend to try to get to the top of the player base end game as fast as possible, but I think that's when you start to experience burnout way too fast, and a lot of people do leave the game just because of that. Whereas, you know, if you hop on for a couple hours a day and just enjoy what you're doing, you'll tend to find more to do. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah,
It's really just a mental preference.
That definitely happened to me. Like when I first joined, well, when I started playing this game seriously, like in 2020, you know, I got into Nora. Basically, everyone there helped me out, and then I kind of just grinded like a madman for like 3 months to get basically everything I need on my own. And then literally like at the start of 2021, right after Christmas, I was completely burnt out, and I took like a 3 month break immediately. And then I came back, and now I'm like, I do the thing at my place, I guess. Yeah, I'm not trying to rush anything anymore. When back then I was, I definitely burnt myself out immediately.
I think that is pretty sound advice too. Like, trying to enjoy the game is definitely something, and we don't have to go super in depth about this topic here, but when beating the game too, I do think it's very. It doesn't feel like beating the game in an actual Pokemon game, which is not a diss in any way. You know, this is a Pokemon Flash game. It doesn't have to be just like the cartridge games in any way, shape, or form. But I did want to just kind of touch on, I do think maybe in a future update, it would be kind of cool to do maybe a gym challenge rework to make the puzzles or the trainers or something a little more of a challenge, more interactive somehow. So it didn't feel like you were just going from town to town and beating it. I don't really know if that's an agreeable take, but it's kind of one that I kind of see in particular. Um, and I don't know. And then also we talked about just a little bit about the Unova spawns not being the best. I do think maybe a little bit more of a reward. Like the spawn should be considered to get considerably quote unquote better and more viable as you go through the game. Like the Sinnoh spawn should actually feel really good outside of the Hoenn and Sinnoh Safari Zone when you get to Sinnoh. So it feels enjoyable to grind in.
Yeah.
Another thing I've kind of considered sometimes is just the amount of cash, pure cash, raw cash that you get from killing mons in those regions. Obviously, Battle Zone and Ancient Dungeon, Water Temple, they do give good money, but I feel like some of the casual routes should also give better money. I know sometimes it can seem like you're using all this time and just wasting it away because you're trying to level up your Pokemon or whatever, but I don't know if it's a bad opinion or a good one to say that some routes should increase their money gain or regions, but that's kind of what I've thought about.
It could be interesting if they were like super intentional. I'm trying to think of like any kind of way you can make that almost like a swarm where like there's increased money on a route, but I guess that wouldn't work.
I don't know. That's a really just out there topic. I was thinking it's not something that we need by any means, but I feel like it would encourage more people to kill grind, and I know that's been a focus for a while.
Sure. Any of you guys have anything else to add about new players or whatnot before we move on to the next topic? Any closing words?
Don't buy bad natures.
Yeah,
Don't settle for things.
Don't buy shit
Invest
with
your
like
money
bad,
wisely.
awful IVs. Well, this is something you like should reset, like like a legend, but like don't be buying like a zero attack timber, man. Come on. Don't ask people if it's good either. Like, no, it's not good. It's not good. Don't just stop asking.
But it's
Yeah.
adamant.
Yeah, for like new players, I would just say like learn natures, IVs, EVs, things like that before ever buying things. Because you can always be self-sufficient getting things that are okay to start. And once you actually start buying things, that's when I would just make sure to look into what you're buying before you actually buy it. Because I know I've sold just absolutely god-awful mons to people, which thank you. But I don't want people watching this to buy those, so.
Just don't settle for less unless it works. Like for me, like I was looking for a careful timber for a LC, but I settled for sassy because I just don't need the speed anyway. Like it's basically the same thing, Like maybe I'll lose the speed tie like 1 in 100 games. Like oh no, but it still works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll close it off as well by saying exactly what Kip said. Like, make sure if you're a new player getting into this game, this is not a normal Pokemon game. You will learn significantly more than you think you will. especially with natures, IVs, everything. Like, I feel like it is important to educate yourself on that. Otherwise, you will be stuck in Kanto for a long time, or stuck in Johto, Sinnoh, because natures do
Yeah,
matter.
I would say Sinnoh is the
Stats do
point where
matter.
you start to realize it.
Yeah, and for like noobs at like PvP, Showdown is a great way to learn, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, you could get your ass kicked on the ladder. Like at 1500, you could play people that are top 20. Like right now on the ladder, it's kind of screwed up.
Ew.
It's only a 500 point difference between 1500 to 2K.
Yeah, we did just see that right before this video.
So here's an interesting topic that I know we're going to have some opinions on for sure, but we talked about player burnout. We talked about all this kind of good stuff. Well, this is the epitome, in my opinion, of player burnout, legend hunting. So I don't know. I feel like legendaries drive people, but they also break people. That is kind of my take on legends. I've seen people quit the game because they're legendless encounters, which, if you're not familiar with that, every encounter you get on a legend map without encountering the legend, it adds 1 to your LLE. Once you hit 100,000 LLE, you start getting a very minuscule boost, which has never been revealed exactly how much it is. And it starts going up every 25K. But anyway, how accessible do you guys think legends are? Is legend hunting enjoyable to you?
I'd say they're very accessible right now, just because of legend eggs. I'd say investing in world boss pokes is something that people should do, because it at the end of the day, it's all RNG in terms of that. But if you get the hit, you get the hit, and you don't have to grind as much as somebody that's going left and right all day. But
Yeah,
at the same time, I don't know. It's just like there's certain legends that you should hunt, like Zapdos, Latios, Azelf, Heatran, Manaphy. But once you get over that 100K LLE, you start to feel it. You're like, man, I don't want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just kind of one of those things where you might find it after 1K, you might find it after 150, 200. You have the both sides of the coin. But I just feel like if there was more things in between that was like make it worth grinding, the legend hunt wouldn't feel as bad.
So
But
I
don't
ain't
know
mad
how
at
to
you,
implement
Kip.
it.
But I did ask the question about like, and this is just an interesting response to the question, like where I was like, hey, how accessible is, I guess, legend grinding is the direction I was trying to go in. And your response was sort of, it doesn't matter how accessible they are because they're available through World Boss. And like, I'm not mad at you because you kind of ignored that question, but you brought up an extremely good point at the same time. Like legend eggs are to me a controversial opinion that was really important to address there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I guess in terms of grinding legends, like each legend has specific criteria to grind it. So it's not like you can get it instantly, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, like grinding the LLE, it's not fun. Like nobody's gonna say, "Oh man, I really enjoy getting 80K LLE every time." That's just not
Yeah, 100%.
something people are gonna agree on. But at the same time, it's kind of needed to keep pokes, relatively expensive in quotes, because they're not really. But
Sure.
it's just one of those things. It's like if they become more accessible, they'll just go down in price. It'll just all feel less worth it. But
But it is kind of broken how many eggs are just available through World Boss though. Like that kind of invalidates the need to hunt a little bit. I don't I don't know if that's the direction you were going in, but to me,
oh yeah, that is.
it makes a lot of sense just to
Like,
log on for your World Boss and set an alarm to play the
for
lottery.
for example, like I never have to hunt Articuno or Mew if I ever want them for Dex, for example, because I got them from World Boss.
Yeah.
And I mean, neither of them were usable, but like if they were, I just had that was super easy. It took me 5 minutes to kill the Articuno boss, and I got knight for it. It's really broken, honestly.
So, what do you guys think is more important? Do you think it's more important to get like a strong team and commit hours into hunting a legend, or do you think it's more important to get a world boss team up and running ASAP to try to hunt the legends like that?
Second option.
Yeah.
World boss.
It's just more worth your time if you do that. Obviously, you got to get the money to get the pokes, and you have to like grind for the pokes unless you're just dropping cash into the game and paying it to play it. But for the
And
most
maybe you
part,
can do some kill grinding on a legend map, but your goal should maybe be if your goal is to get self-caught legends, try to get them through world boss.
At the moment, yes. I personally think world boss is just one of those things that should just go away. But at the time, being right now, yes, that's what I would personally like. If I was new to the game or like relatively new, that's what I would invest in to hunt legends rather than grinding them, because it's just, you can do other things, get on for your 15, 20 minutes, and then go play a different game. That's how I see World Boss.
That's basically what I'm doing right now. Because I've been busy on a different game.
So
I just wanted to kind of put my input here. I do agree with World Boss being as powerful as it is in terms of acquisition of Pokemon, money, loot in general. But with this being an MMO, I do severely, I always have valued the ability to just make an efficient PvE team and go out and, put the time and effort into hunting what you want. Like I said, this is an MMO. Like you should be grinding, in my opinion. This is what the game type is. And, there are occasions of people that do go over like 200k LE, and that by all means that is absolutely terrible. But if you keep playing and just putting a few hours in every day just to get like a few thousand LE, like you will get that legend. It's like a guarantee. No, will it be its sync? Maybe not, but that's the same with like opening a legend egg. You're not guaranteed to get the sync either. But then you can also never experience going over 50k. Like I know a bunch of newer players who just hop on for events or go into PowerPoint basement for the first time and get a legend in 2,000 encounters. Like
I know this
and
guy.
You don't have to...
I know a guy in this call who does that.
But
who is it?
Tyler.
But like I don't want to completely throw run grinding for legends, like the aspect of legend hunting, out of the way, but like you said, burnout is very prominent especially with this game. I like in the past there have been a bunch of players. One that I'm gonna bring out is Tyler with an I, Tyier. He was hunting for Manaphy. Yeah, he was the GOAT. He was hunting for Manaphy for like 270k encounters, and he finally got it. And at the time, that was one of the highest, if not the highest, I forget.
Yeah.
Legend ever. And he got a timid Manaphy. Luckily, like that is crazy.
Thank God it's synced.
I would die if it wasn't. But you could potentially not get that synced, and that if that is the case, that's like a quit the game moment. Like, man, I just spent months for nothing, right?
I felt like that after my Xerneas. Like I only hit 129k, but like after it was impish, I just felt like a huge wave of like, I just don't want to play.
Well, I feel like that had to do with the other roles too.
Also, okay, dude, yo, I'm about to go on a rant, dude. I have one synced legend out of like 12 now, and like both rolling and hunting, and it was my only synced legend is Deoxys, which is lucky, but like everything else was just incredibly unusable, and it's so sad.
Like, yeah, pretty beyond unusable. I do want to try to speed up. We still have a lot of topics to go into.
We're an hour
I will ask some parting questions though about legends. How do you guys think legends are in terms of the odds to encounter them? Personally, I think the legend odds are in a good spot. And then my own question I'll throw in here, and this is my own take. Do you think that sync odds for a legend should go up with your LLE as well?
Yes.
I don't know. So I like
Uh,
where they're at with how like fast you encounter. In terms of sync odds, I don't like. I mean, maybe if there's like a minuscule boost, but like even then, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just kind of like touchy. If you touch it and it's bad, then there can be,
that is a huge thing. I do think personally, maybe we should lean towards getting a boosted sync odd, and I know I'm probably tilting a bunch of people with that. But at the same time, you have to think about like how many years have players been grinding without that capability? Like there have been countless stories of people just not getting syncs, super high LE, and people getting perfect nature within 2,000 counters, like I said. But once you hit like 150k and you just get like a brave, like Zapdos, it's
Bareface
bad.
moment.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Uh,
What about Gecko, man? Gecko 240k, Lonely Manatee.
Oh,
I feel
man.
like at some point you should get a boost, but it shouldn't scale continuously. I feel like it should kind of be like the odds of encountering a legend go up, but you just stay at a flat boost. Like right now it's what, 30, 33%, 30.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
it would just be
yeah.
better if
I
you
feel like you
increase
should
the odds more rather than the sync odds.
I thought it was
That is
40
that-
for Legends.
It's 40 for Legends,
Yeah,
yeah.
40.
40 for legends. But I think if you're going to, as a developer or as players in a community, I think we should not completely ruin syncing legends. Like they should still be hard to sync,
Okay,
in my opinion.
fair enough. All right, we'll move on to Altering Cave. So I'm going to recap a little bit here because we went over Altering Cave a little bit. Altering Cave being the place, the Legends there once a month, randomly. That's a joke. Gibble's there. It used to have a purpose to encounter things that were below level 33 for T1. Now
Yep.
that purpose is kind of removed. Still costs 600k to enter. The mons are the exact same. How valuable does this feel? Do you guys think this needs a rework?
Yeah, there used to be a rainbow rock in there too until you had to instance it because of the player boost, but now that the game's dying, I don't know if it needs any instances anymore. But in terms of like Altering Cave, it definitely does need some sort of way to get people going back in, even if it's just lowering the price of it. But at the same time, I know it's a way to get money out of the game. So just maybe making there be better things in there to hunt. Because obviously some people like getting pokes with their name on it, like me. So if there's like things that I can get in there that are specific to there, that'd be cool. But I don't really know if there's any pokes that you can really do that with. So that's my
All right.
2 cents.
What do you what do you think, Smooge?
So one of my ideas for like not really a rework, but just something you can do there is add swarms to there. Not like swarms as in like, a swarm has appeared at Altering Caves. Fucking no one's going there, but I meant like just in the pool of spawns they should be added.
And pretty much that's a 31 HP Braviary moment for me and Smooge. Also Durant. I've always wanted a good Durant. I literally cannot get a good Durant.
I hate Durant. Fuck Durant.
Hey, look at that. We got more honey, guys.
Oh, let's go. I'm not watching the chat. I have it closed.
Okay, yeah, we got more honey. That's a good thing, though.
I think AC is both good right now and bad, but the reason why I say it's good is as a new player, you're eventually going to, I mean, I don't think this is something that is necessarily true, but I feel as if Garchomp is a necessary mon. Like, you need Garchomp in this game. And as a new player, you're going to eventually be going there to get one. I would hope so, at least. And with the price point being 600k, yes, it is very expensive for certain days, but like if it's on a Gibble day, you will make that money back if you play enough. At least from my experience, right? Like
I
you can
agree.
go
Oh,
in
boy.
there and you can get like 2 Gibbles, and one of them is gonna make you, neutral or at least get profit most of the time.
And then also you have the item drops that you can get. I've gotten hella cracked IV reset drops in there too.
I have
But
not
as
gotten
far
a
as, like-
Gibble in many AC days.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes down to luck too. I think it needs a small rework. I think the pool of bad spawns should be cut. I actually don't think it's a bad idea to control the spawns, like take an element of randomness out of it. Like maybe themed spawns for different days. Like at least on holidays, maybe. Like I guess that doesn't make much sense. We already have events on holidays, but and picking from pools of I guess
Seasonal
kind of
spawns.
seasonal spawns, maybe. I mean,
There's a
that's
spring altering cave season, and then there's a
but what I'm
summer
trying to
altering
point
cave
towards is
season.
like more predetermined good spawns that it just picks from like a pool of predetermined spawns instead of being totally random.
Yeah.
I mean, what would
like
you guys
maybe,
think?
Like, you can go like nature based, like, you know, today's like a good adamant day in there. Because I already know that happens. Like, you know, sometimes there'll be like a, you know, a Breloom, a Sneasel, and I don't know, just say like Dodrio or some shit, you know?
Sure.
People will go for Jolly.
And then there's
sometimes.
impish days like pseudo where you can get Gibble and Hippopowdon. So
And
it's like
Regirock, yeah.
that. See, like that's a 1 day a year. Like I stayed up till 4 a.m. grinding that AC. Like I don't know, man. I think sometimes
Sometimes it
altering
hits the
cave can be
lottery.
really but those are like once a year events.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like I don't know if it needs a change. This is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I
Off the rocker.
Of course, yes, off the road. But like if it's a bad AC day, like you're not required to go, and you shouldn't go because you'd be saving money. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
not every day needs to be good. I think it's good to have bad days because it makes the good days even better, and it makes people want to go as a group, um, and just try to hunt something that they need, right? If we had it every day being a good day, I feel like there'd just be a lack of excitement for that area, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense.
100% actually. I like that too. I guess I'm just hoping that some of the really bad spawns, like the unnecessary spawns at this point, can go to maybe make room for a few new T1 mons to go in there. Like I'd be a fan of like a Scavalier in there, that's my boy. So I don't have to go to Sinnoh Safari Zone 3 to go hunt that. I do get the point of some mons being exclusive, but like adding stuff like that, adding swarm mons, maybe removing the stuff no one really needs.
Drop a Lowland Forms in there. I'm not biased.
Any Ninetales?
I've heard another idea too, and this ties into kind of the next point, guys. I've heard people say that Altering Cave can be repurposed for EV training. And what I'm going to say there is, I think Altering Cave needing a rework is something that people have brought up. So you see people kind of throwing out their own ideas. But I think EV training in this game feels kind of, I don't know.
Awful.
I'm going to sound like I'm complaining and bitching and I don't want to play a game, but I think EV training is pretty miserable in this game.
It's
Oh no, I
horrendous.
really love it. It's very good and very awesome to spend my day training up pokes that I won't use. No, I definitely agree. I mean, I don't like the crappy areas to grind EVs. where
And
they're
I
at
don't
now. Like
think you
Paris?
need to yeah.
Who the heck wants to grind for that? There's nothing else there. We need something. We need another place, but
People have brought up like adding a room in Altering Cave that you can like EV train in, and it's all like level 1, 3 EV mods. I don't think you have to do that, but I think EV training needs a small change. Lime, I want to invite you to speak on this, but first I want Smooge to explain how it works in Pro, if you don't mind.
So in Pro, we have a in our Safari Zone in the Kanto region. There's an area you can get into. It's just called the EV Training Safari. It's super cheap. It's only 10k to get in, but like, there's there's Pokemon there that give you 3 EVs each, and if you Matcha Bracelet, it's 6 each. So it's super easy to EV train there because it'll only spawn those Pokemon. Like for example, Dustox for Spadef, Pidgeot for speed, Like there's victory bell for attack, and stuff like that. So like EV training on that game is super easy. It always has been, but on this game it's like it's a huge time commitment to EV train on this game. I feel like I have to literally plan a few days ahead to like make time to fucking EV train this stupid Scrafty that does nothing in a video, and then I get pissed off. I'm like, wow, why did I train this fucking Scrafty?
So, Lime, you've played this game for a long time too. Are we complaining for the sake of complaining? Should some things stay difficult? What's your take on EV training in particular?
EVs are super important. I think everybody knows that. They kind of buff your mons a lot, and they determine if you're going to win games or not in PvP as well. But I think EV training is pretty bad. I do agree with having an area where we just have certain EV mons, so you don't have to spend your time running across the Kanto region or going to like Windsor Cave. What is it called? Rockruff Cave?
Oh man, yeah, and you need like level 100s for there, by the way.
Whatever.
Too.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what I mean? Like all these certain areas you can go to, but they are pretty boring. If there was just a centralized region, I feel like it'd be good. And especially with something that has been rumored to come out for a while now, the EV bank is going to be huge for mons that can use multiple sets. Good examples like a naive Infernape or naive Victini. If the EV bank does exist in the future, EV training in this current state will be even worse because you are going to need more IVs or EVs. Sorry.
God, I want to EV
so if we
bank
do
so
have,
bad.
if we do have like a room or a map, a new map, even entirely for just EV training, I feel like it would be good. Not
there's
necessarily getting rid of like grinding the kills and everything, just having a centralized area.
You bet. There's been a few ideas on how to do this better, which includes, we tossed out this idea of adding a map. I like the idea of doing it through a safari zone like they do in Pro. You can maybe use the ferry system, the ferry to a place too. That way, you kind of have a little bit of a money sink / cost with some of this. I think that's cool. A few ideas I jotted down here. The growth charm. Okay, we don't really need to talk about buffing charms, but the growth charm is pretty bad. Should this give extra EVs?
I would say, yeah. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, growth charm is completely useless.
What are you going to combine it with, like the brace or something?
Yeah, combine it with the brace and make it like so it's a EV share. Oh my god.
And that's the other idea we had. Like, I thought maybe this could go in the elite shop where you could put like an EV share on your Pokemon, so you can lead with something else, and whatever it kills gives EVs to the item in the back. Just like an EXP share, but no EXP, just EVs.
So like, I just want to point something out. In the actual games, EV share or EXP share already spreads EVs. So like, for some reason, this game just decided not to. I guess that was like maybe like an early decision that they made, but yeah, in the actual games, you definitely get EVs from EXP share.
So what do you guys think about like an EV share like that? I think all of these ideas can coexist together, for the record. Like, it doesn't have to be pick one.
I think it's good. I just think there's also like the double-edged sword. With the EV bank, it's like then some pokes may go down in price again. Because you won't have to have multiple of pokes that have certain EVs. You can just have one. So it'll just like offload any of those as well. But obviously I'd rather have an EV bank than not. It's just annoying. But
yeah,
there is like both sides of it, I guess. And then in terms of just like making it easier to get EVs, that's just it's just a quality of life update.
An example for a mon that'll gain value, by the way, Timid Zapdos 100%, because you can run Timid Zapdos easily as defensive, just speed creep Jolly Breloom, Jolly Bisharp, or you can run it offensive with the same Zapdos. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like that update then.
Oh yeah, true, so true. That's a mon that'll 100% go up in value, because then, I mean, Bold is a little bit better as defensive than Timid, but it's very minuscule compared to the benefits you can have by owning a Timid.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
timid Zapdos kind of lost its usage in the past due to the prominence of better IV'd mons in general. Garchomp kind of took over with Stone Edge and stuff. Stone Edge claps timid Zapdos regardless.
Yeah.
But I feel like giving, you know, and the same with the way Jirachi was neutralized by Bold Zapdos. But I feel like giving, more Pokemon the ability to thrive again is a very good idea.
Cool. Yeah, so I see the double-edged sword there. I don't think it's all negative. I think a lot of mons will be repurposed too. Like you'll have some losers. People are gonna trade off their spare mons. I definitely have a timid and a bold Zapdos myself. So I probably don't need the bold one as much, personally. So yeah, people will be selling spares, but also some specific rejects might go up in value. All right, that wraps up the EV training topic. We talked about this a little bit too. We kind of just have been hip firing a lot of this, and I promise we're done with overworld grinding after this topic. But one more thing on these item drops. I don't know if we need to go super in depth here, but I feel like item drops in the game, they feel a little dated. Maybe there could be a little bit of a work here of overworld drops, make drops exciting again. What do you guys think? Like, are there any drops you particularly like going for?
IV resets.
You can't farm them though.
Yeah, I mean, there used to be like people used to go to Berry Forest a lot more, but then like ability caps during events just like overran the game.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's not as fun to get those anymore. Um, but yeah, for the most part, I don't really grind for drops. I guess unless it's like a TM and I randomly get it and I'm like, oh wow, a hidden power or like a T boulder, protect or something. It used to be earthquake, but that thing was probably like 100K now. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
like
that thing
200.
is not worth much.
It's just like everything that used to be like drop for good money. Like more, I guess the money's kind of like the same. It just looks like it's less. So, because everything's worth less. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, in terms of like item drops, I mean, there could be something that's added, like something like that cat mount, but I don't know what could be added. I'm not very good at thinking of things.
I'm not a game dev either. I'm just thinking, we're in Mossy Cave Water Cavern right now. Are any of us kill grinding?
No,
I
I'm not.
usually am here with slacking, but no, I'm run grinding.
See, and this has exclusive drops that are supposed to be cool.
Oh yeah, the shards.
Oh, yeah, I
Exactly.
forgot about
See,
that.
exactly.
Yeah, it's hard really to implement new drops or better drops because the ones that we do have are good in nature, but the problem is everybody in the game already has them, and every new instance of a drop, like a new TM or whatever, is going to get allocated to, something or somebody through the market, and that just adds more and more metal coats, from Scythers and Onyx. And a really good example actually is from Ancient Dungeon legendary baits.
True.
That used to be the best drop in the game, like Reign Supreme, like over 10 mil every time. You got a legend bait, but there are so many enhanced feathers now, enhanced items that legend baits have just
Charms.
gone down, and charms.
Are they 2.5 now, or what are they now?
I don't know what they
They're
are.
around that, yeah.
They are low.
That's so
And
tragic.
it's still like a good drop to get. Like you're killing for a random 2 mil chance in AD with the XP and money, but I just don't know. You can't really buff drops really right now. You just have to hope for a wider player base, in my opinion.
Yo, this would
For
be a
sure.
super hated change, but make it so that your feathers and your enhanced water stones only last a year.
No. I
Yeah.
honestly, no. Your enhanced items, they disappear on encounter.
Oh yeah, no.
That should act. No. Why not? Tell me why not.
I don't know about on encounter.
Well, if I can give you I can give a really specific example where that would be just absolute shit.
Do it.
Brave Zapdos would
Oh.
essentially you would lose value instantly. Instead of like getting
Yeah.
rewarded, you would just mega lose
that's why I
value.
think time base is probably better.
All right, sort of true, sort of
Yeah,
true.
instead of being like go again, you're like, oh, I just
yeah,
got double whammied.
yeah.
Kind of quick hip fire section here. We talked about future content a little bit. We talked about raids and legends. Let's just start with raids. Let's make this. I have a feeling we should talk about raids for more than 30 seconds. So we talked about raids a little bit. Let's go in depth a little bit now. What do you guys want to see implemented in raids?
Okay, dude, I'm not even gonna lie. I have no idea what even like the premise of raids is because I haven't like I wasn't there when raids were like announced or anything. So it's just kind of something I've been hearing over and over, and I just don't really know what it's about.
Sure. All right. So floor is open to Kip and Lime.
Oh, great.
I'm in the
Do
same
you want to
shoes.
explain it, Kip, or I mean, I can too.
The
It
only
doesn't.
thing that I think of when I hear raids is like Destiny raids, and it's not going to be like that at all. So.
No, Destiny. From what I understand, raids are similar to World Boss in the aspect that you are killing a boss of some kind. But the change with that is raids can be done multiplayer as well. So you're kind of in a group defeating, a mini game boss. Usually farmable, so not like a world boss where you have to wait a certain amount of time. You can go into a raid and beat it and do another raid right afterwards, right? And just keep getting the rewards from it.
Farmable sounds good.
The idea, or what I've heard, people can correct me if I'm wrong, is that mega stones, the raid legends, things like that are going to be coming from raids. They will be prominent in the game if they do come out. Is at least some of the ideas that have came out.
So I've heard the megastone part, and that kind of worries me because megas are a huge part of the metagame, and I feel like making them less inaccessible to newer players is a huge mistake.
Yeah, see, that's another thing though. It's just rumored. Obviously, we don't know, and I don't know anything. Maybe other players do, but there is chances that some of our current item shops will be seeing the mega stones as well. It's all just theory. Yeah, elite shop. We're not going to really talk about elite shop in this video, I don't think, but elite shop needs a change. That is one of the biggest things that needs to change.
AFK rod is the best item in the game. That's all you need to know.
Well, what about Mew map?
Nope, it's AFK rod.
So Smooge, help me out. You're more familiar with megas. Let's say mega stones weren't implemented through raids just for a second, because I share the same concerns. What if they were a chance to drop from the Pokemon? Where's this broken other than Gyarados, which I don't think is that bad?
Diancie.
Okay, so you can only get Mega Diancite from a Diancie. That is a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Are there any other like
the Lotties for sure?
Okay. I guess it has to be through raids, yeah.
I don't think it has to.
Like if it's through raids, it should be definitely a common drop. Like Megastones shouldn't be like super rare. If they're super rare, it's gonna make a huge problem when it comes to PvP.
I think map control shop.
Oh goodness! Oh goodness!
Like,
wow, that's a spicy take.
If only like
getting a map control shop.
Like if only 1 in 1,000 people can play Mega Scizor on the first day, I feel like that's a problem,
No, I think
that'll be me, so it's good.
There's a possibility that Megastones will be added to certain shops, I believe. I don't think it's going to be raid exclusive.
Yeah.
Gyarados.
I guess it also depends on how expensive they are. Like if you put like Mega Alakazam in Clan Wars shop for 2,000 tokens, like, oh man, that's a problem for me.
So I'm not even that familiar with like Dynamax raids and Sword and Shield or how other fan games have implemented raids even. So how is it that you can obtain a legendary from a raid? Like, let's say that was implemented. What do you think is the best way to like get a random? Is it through an egg again? Like, are you gonna get a Giratina egg probably?
So that might be a thing though too. That I was just gonna say. I know we may dislike or like eggs. The easiest option as a developer would be to implement an egg, I believe. Just an egg chance. But I could foresee like getting shards of the legend, right? Like, here's the Dialga raid. We beat it efficiently with a lot of damage as a group. And then you get a few Dialga shards or a shard. You have to get a certain amount to get the Dialga.
Like you can
Maybe
get
that could be a
shards of
thing.
shards of the adamant orb, and then when you get all shards, you can go like, Spirit Pillar and summon it, right?
Yeah, or something along the lines of like getting Jesus, Kip.
Yeah.
What?
Your shiny egg
Timid?
moment.
It's
Uh,
Oh, it's not. It's not.
something along the lines of like getting pieces of the legend, not just getting slam. Here you go. You know what I mean?
Oh
Hey!
damn!
Oh
It's not
man,
timid.
we're popping up.
Yo, where's mine? Where's mine? What the? I haven't gotten an
Not
encounter in months.
Oh man.
Yeah, a lot of theory crafting, a lot of not confirmed information, and probably distant into the future.
It's really hard for me to talk about raids a lot because like I said, I didn't really play raids in Sword and Shield or in any of these fan games, so I don't really know what to expect. But I like shards, I like eggs. I kind of like both ideas. Eh, I honestly, I feel like I really can't add much productive other than whatever it is. I really hope it's tested. I hope it's not broken. This has to be a little critical, but when World Boss came out, that was a broken mess. I really hope Raids is tested a little bit more because I think this is going to be a really big part of the game.
Brody, you need an official tester team.
I think it's gonna be fun though, is one thing. I think raids, or just things where you can. This is debatable as well. The ability to play with another player in the same battle, for a raid. Obviously, you can exploit that significantly. But I do think it would be fun, if me and Kip, all four of us, even just hopped into a raid with each other and like had to communicate and how to buff each other's mons to do as much damage, right? Like,
How we're gonna fuck up this
Dude,
Rayquaza.
imagine.
like doesn't that sound like something that would be ideal, or like
It would be
at least
content too. I
Sounds
feel like
great.
look
people would
forward
want
to
watch.
it. Yeah.
Like I know,
I do think it would be entertaining.
I know, like it's kind of, I guess it's kind of off topic, but like Poke1, they have like a party system where you can kind of do that kind of thing. There's no like raids or anything, but you can group up with people and like hunt with them. And I think that's a really cool
Yeah.
concept. And I think doing that in like a raid fashion in a Pokemon game would be really cool.
The thing I was talking about were along the lines of being exploited and such is then that becomes a situation in which alts can be used, and you know how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple players using multiple alts to beat the same raid over and over. Seems a little unbalanced. It's a little broken, but
I agree.
we'll have to see.
That is breaking rules though, so ideally they'd get banned.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's not like you can detect that immediately, right? Like it's really hard to. I feel like that's something that's really hard to gatekeep.
It's harder with if you have like a VPN on, I guess. Actually, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like even if you have a VPN on, it would use the same. Your account would still be in the same place, wouldn't it? I don't know. I don't really know how VPNs work. I'm not gonna
It's
lie.
really depend on what software you use. I don't know. I want to get into it because we don't need to promote that. But
Oh, yeah, I have no idea. I'm just wondering.
I wish I knew more, but
I grind
Yeah.
on 10 accounts right now, so it's fine.
yeah, or it's
I
pulled
think
hot dog.
that's a good amount of raid speculation. But I really like closing thoughts for me. I completely agree with Smooge. I hope there's a little bit of a test team that goes into this, and I just hope it's not the mess where raid bosses are getting like farmed in 3 seconds, and like like world bosses were one shot when it came out. It's like I hate to sound a little critical, but this can really be done right, and I really want to see it be done right, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's years in the making.
Shut up.
Oh my god.
So a
What?
few more topics here for future content. Horde battles in the wild. So shiny hunters rejoice. Do you think you should be able to encounter more than one Pokemon at a time to increase your shiny odds? What do you guys think about that?
It depends on what it costs to do it. Like if you like in the normal games, you could do it with honey. Obviously, that would be insane here.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was like a new item, like I don't know, let's say sweet smelling berry or some stupid shit like that, you know, like let's say it costs like I don't know 10K each, you know, that would be pretty fair, I think. But obviously, there would be a huge cost going into that, and if you were to get a shiny or something good out of it, it would be I don't know. I kind of like lost track of my own thoughts there, so.
Okay.
The implementation of hordes is kind of risky in my opinion, purely based on, you know, like you just said, shiny odds and stuff. Once you add a horde to a certain area of the game, that opens up, like, hey, maybe we should be adding hordes everywhere else too. You know what I mean, or other places. Maybe having a region horde specific would be something that could happen. I know I'm saying adding regions a few times in this video, but
Well, let
there's
me
a
throw
lot
another
that can be
idea at
done.
you. What if swarms were hordes? Like every time a swarm appeared on a map, what if that was a horde?
That would be better, I think, because you're going to a swarm in hopes of getting a specific mon or, you know, good spawns. And swarms happen only in that area. So having like hordes not being active all the time, but sometimes could work, I think. But
That could be kind of cool, I think.
I don't know if swarms is the best option for that, but
Sure. I mean, there's other things they could do from the actual games, like Pokeradar, I guess, too. But oh, that's someone. Is that the guy that dropped honey?
rest in
It
peace.
is. It is the
That's
honey
cool.
user.
Oh damn!
Congrats.
Fuck, this should have been me.
And then this one's your note, Mime. You have a. If no one else has anything to add about hordes, rather, before I move on. Cool. Trick Room Cave. This was your. This was your note, Mime. So I think this is mostly for. You can go in there and it gives you an opportunity for mons like Golurk that have no guard to still illuminate grind and have a purpose. Is that kind of what you're looking for here?
So the concept of a trick room cave, it's been talked about. Nothing of what I'm bringing up is like just new information. This has been theorized for a long time. But trick room cave is, you know, something where new mons could see new use. Like you said, Golurk or slower mons being put to like actually do something in PvE, like Rhyperior even, or whatever. Name a slow mon. But
Yeah.
not just Trick Room Cave. I kind of am going along the lines of like anywhere, like all sorts of mons seeing usage. Maybe an area where water mons are the only thing that you can use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, things like that. Put a price point on, just like Tier 1 did, on, you know, new mons that have new purposes, I feel like.
Would you want stuff like that to be something people could grind, maybe? Or would it be like, in order to progress through here, pretty much like new region, you've been bringing this up. Would you want there to be like challenge routes? You talk, yeah.
I think being able to just grind that area for like a drop or, you know, a reward, like a Reggie, for example. What if, I mean, this is, don't put this as an actual idea or anything, but I mean, maybe putting
Write it
Reggie
down,
in like
write
a
it down.
trick room cave would be something people would go for 100% because we don't have a run grindable Reggie at the moment. Well, Reggie Gigas, but Reggie Rock, Reggie Ice, Reggie Steel.
Can't run from it.
Regieleki.
Oh, okay. Or those, yeah. But like having some sort of reward where people are forced to get a new mon and get a new team built to do good in a new dungeon. Because as it stands, every map in the game currently although there are some exceptions, many people just run the same teams, right? Like, so.
Like like right now I'm running a Caterpie lead with the Runaway, and then I have a Blissey, Shedinja, and my Timid Zam.
And that could be used in several maps, like tons.
It's
like
basically what I bring
almost
to
the
almost
whole
everything.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be kind of cool to have a whole unique team you have to make for something like a Trick Room cave or like a Scorching Sun cave.
Yeah, exactly.
Bring like the primordial effects in here. So I like it. And
or
that
like a swift swim area where you have to lead Kingdra because that's the only thing that will outspeed, like
that could be cool.
It sounds pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. So those are some ideas for future content. All this stuff, guys, this all had to do with overworld grinding. We're an hour and a half in-ish, but we're finally past pretty much the bulk of the episode. Now it's kind of the home stretch talking about some of the still very important to talk about, but not as many things to dissect. And let's start with mining for that. Here we go. How do you guys feel about mining?
mining fucking sucks.
It's okay.
Why?
It's okay as a noob money source.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Some people do enjoy it. Like I know people that are like, yeah, I'd rather mine than, do other things.
It's very easy to brain dead mine, and for me, it's something I did a lot to make a lot of my early money. I used mining to buy basically all my world boss Pokemon back when I was getting them.
Yeah,
So
I hate mining.
Yeah, me too. I hate it.
But the Reggie update, I don't know if I've really seen like the Gold Rush stuff. I don't know how that's really affected it. I don't know if there's enough sample size, but
me and Lime were talking right before this recording. Like we both know people that are going to Gold Rushes now. Shout out Jordy and Opper, just to go get.
Yeah,
just to
I
try to
might
get a
at some
Reggie.
point, but it's
I
like one of those
have-
things I'll go in the future because I'm lazy.
I feel like I barely see Reggies anyway. Like I have a Regirock, I guess, but
You're lucky for that.
Yeah, I
Holy
know.
I
shit.
got my red dice from. I got my red dice from Altering Cave.
I feel like just mining isn't really a really viable way of sustaining a good money source, but it's definitely not awful. Like you definitely make something.
Yeah, so recently actually, like this new update, with the Reggie update and everything, they did nerf the EXP from Dark Gems like a lot, and I think that motivation to getting level 100 has just been smashed for so many players because the new gem, the Lava Rock, doesn't give nearly as much money as a Dark Gem does. But with that being said, he did technically buff the amount of money that you do gain from mining because he reduced the spawn rate of Dark Gems. So
Yeah,
if you're going for money, it is still profitable. Like you see players making hundreds of millions, but I just don't find the entertainment in it. It's really hard to make pressing. I know it's hard to say on a PPO, but make pressing space entertaining for me at least.
One scary thought, and this is almost kind of a joke, but also serious. Mining is low-key money laundering in a way. Like, you could hide so much money on an account with gems. I know
that has legitimately been done several times.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I know someone who buys rainbow gems for 20k, and they're like stockpiling, and they have like almost 7,000 or something like that.
Exactly, and all you have to do is just trade some to an alt and cash them out on that alt to get your cash. Like you don't have to cash them all out at once, like the mining vendor wants you to. Just trade the gems around. Like I don't know, mining to me doesn't. I enjoy that people enjoy it, and I enjoyed it too when I was a newer player. Like instantly, as soon as I started the game, I thought it was so interesting that this game had upgradable skills. That's not something you're used to in a Pokemon game at all. I can go mine, which is, they have the underground, and I do wish 100% that mining in this game was more like the underground mini games, but it is what it is. I like that people like it, but I don't think it's very well thought out. I don't think it should just be a way to make money. I think there can be a lot more to be done with it. Like exclusive drops from mining could be cool, craftable items from mining.
Yeah, crafting is huge. I think there needs to, if we're gonna keep the system of crafting in the game, I think we need more craftable items or something else with that. And mining is a pretty good way to do it, with gemstones or upgradable stones, whatever it be.
Yeah, there should be rare items you can get from mining that you can craft into like exclusive items you can't get otherwise, or maybe extremely hard to get otherwise. I don't know, it's kind of dumb, but the next topic we're going to talk about is farming. We don't have to the second, but I thought like mining and farming could intertwine somehow. Like you could mine up a certain kind of seed. And I know this makes absolutely no sense. Who's going to mine a rock and get seeds out of it? But maybe an ingredient to make your seeds better, some kind of mineral powder could be used. But I like the crafting system. I like the idea of mining. I just think it's a little
I think I see where you're going
underutilized.
with that.
Let me,
Yeah.
let me compress 20,000 pale gems into a sinkstone.
I think
Oh, boy.
I see where you're going with that in terms of like the powder enhancing your farming. In a similar way, you could think of like farming up something could enhance your fishing, right? Like maybe you get a certain bait that is all of a sudden making your rod better, but it's hard with that as well because you step on a boundary where you can make something that shouldn't be too complex way too complex, and
Yeah,
then
true.
that's kind of where you get to the point where things become irrelevant or useless, um,
Just because no
and
one really understands how to actually
yeah,
use it. Yeah.
nobody knows how to use it. Nobody really sees the viability in it, and then you get these items that do nothing, right? Like I
I'm
don't
not a
know.
game designer, but I think it would require a really experienced game designer to find a way to like balance it all and intertwine it all. Like game designing is an art for sure, and I can't really think of a system where mining, fishing, and farming could all intertwine. But there might be a way, and it might be straightforward. Who knows?
Yes, if we're going to talk about farming now,
Yep.
we need berries bad, really bad.
Oh yeah.
Like ASAP, ASAP Rocky.
Yeah.
So, if we're talking about berries now, I actually had an idea, and I talked about it with Tyler yesterday. But, obviously, berries are going to be annoying if you have to put them on your Pokemon, like after every battle. So, the idea of a permanent berry being a rare drop from berry farming is a really good idea. So, like, instead of, like, getting encounters from, like mining, like, 1 in 3,000 or whatever the stupid chance is for mining, you can get a permanent citrus berry or something like that,
100%.
I don't know. Obviously, farming is going to be very interesting. Maybe you can get grass encounters or like encounter plant Pokemon with it, but it's hard to see how much farming is going to impact the game, especially when farming is such a niche piece of what we're looking at. I mean, like, yeah, you can get berries from it, but like, what else would farming be for? Like, fishing, you can get, good Pokemon, good EXP, um, good money drops. Like mining, you get good money, you get Reggie chance, but I don't know. Farming is going to be interesting.
Here's an idea. You can use some berries. Maybe there's like a few like custom berries in there that you can use to make a lure. Like each berry like responds to like a different type, so you can make lures that last on, let's say, an hour or two that boost chances of finding this type of Pokemon, right? So like boost
Like
your chance
fire
of finding,
types.
yeah, like or like electric types,
Mm-hmm.
You can make like type lures with berries.
I think farming should 100% be a skill, and you should be able to get new options as you go. And an interesting idea I had is like a divide between utility and cash crops. Like And this sounds a little silly, but I also think it makes sense where there's certain types of berries you can fully spec into and work on grinding specifically these kinds of berries that are literally the only purpose of a certain berry is to sell to an NPC. And then there could be other berries you could farm that are more of your citrus berries, your lures, or other things, and you could grind those for more utility.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then also, once you get to a point where you've been grinding your berry for a certain amount of time, like let's say you've harvested 1,000 citrus berries, then you can start encountering a chance to grow a permanent citrus berry somehow. Like as you work towards a type of berry, the rewards get better. Like just like a typical RPG progression, as you grind a certain type of thing, typically the rewards of grinding that certain type of thing longer go up.
There's a lot of things that could be done with that, and I think it's there's something like we've been talking about, not we as an us, but I've been talking about like clan buildings and things with friends. Having a dedicated building where you can just go in and you only know, kind of like a custom map.
Mhm.
You can like communicate with your friends or whatever in this private area. I feel like it'd be kind of cool if there was a similar thing with farming where you could create your own farm, but also that brings in the fact that that's just a totally different type of game sometimes. But
So let's
it,
play
it would
Stardew
seem kind of
Valley.
fun. Yeah, like Stardew Valley. Like you could create your like you said cash crop or utility crop. Like if you all of a sudden had all the utilities you needed, you could just turn the entire thing into a cash crop.
Exactly.
Like I don't know. A
And then
lot to
also,
be
like,
done.
hypothetically, you can sell the utility berries to the economy, like player to
Yeah.
player. Maybe they'll value them, but there should be some kind of like steady income always off farming, I think. So, like, I'm just thinking for the long term. So it still makes sense to use farming in some capacity, even when berries are spread throughout the whole game.
Yeah, and then you can see the prominence of new players who get a name for themselves as being like, a farmer, farming king. Like
Exactly.
like you got all these farmers that know what they're doing and are doing it efficiently and like helping the economy and spreading farming materials, and that's how they get their money, right? Like
And that's why I think it could be intertwined through mining somehow. Like if there's drops that were desirable through farmers somehow, so they can make their crop better. But I just feel like farming should not be brain dead, and it absolutely has room to be a skill. That's kind of like my 2 cents and my closing thoughts on that. Like, I just don't think you need to make farming so brain dead as to just put it on a custom map and go to it once a day and hit spacebar. I think there can be strategy. I think there's a lot that can be done.
yeah.
Kip, you got anything to add before we move on to the next topic? What
I
do you
don't know
want to
how
do with
berries
farming?
work, so I just didn't want to.
Oh, okay.
I didn't
Here.
want to input anything because I literally have no clue how that shit works. So
Hey, fair
if
enough.
it ever got added, I would just learn it and then go with the flow.
Buy
Have to get
TM
level
Recycle.
100 for that achievement though.
Yep, that's about it. That's another thing. We need achievements.
All right, for our next topic, we'll be talking about Battle Tower, and this is where I'm mostly going to shut up. Smooge, why don't you run the show about BT?
All right. So, I hate Battle Tower. It is so tedious and boring, but if you have what you need to grind Battle Tower efficiently, you can definitely make a lot of money off it. That being said, Syncstone price has been dropping a lot.
After your damn diet.
It's my fault. Let's go. But it's repeatable content that you can kind of just brain dead go through. You don't really need to think much until like the later levels of Battle Tower. You can easily just bring like a hyper, not really hyper offense, but you can use a good efficient team for like the lower levels up into like 300, and then just restart and keep going over and over and over without thinking very much. And you can very easily get like 5,000 tokens in a day if you grind like a madman. So you can definitely make a lot of money from it. But the problem is that the Pokemon you need to grind it efficiently cost so much. And for example, Xerneas and Yveltal being one of both probably the best Battle Tower mons are very inaccessible to new players, I'd say.
Especially being event locked too.
Yeah, event locked. They're legendary, so you have to actually find them or buy them for a pretty steep price. And then on top of that, their TMs are actually expensive too. Like Thunderbolt, I know is expensive. Psyshock's expensive.
Psyshock. Yep.
I guess this doesn't really apply to Yveltal. I think it needs like a few tutor tickets or something.
And Focus Blast if you're running a special set, but I don't think it does usually, right?
No, not in Battle Tower. You don't need that.
Yeah. So that's okay. Now, you mentioned right away that it's not enjoyable. What do you think can be added to BT to make it more enjoyable, in your opinion? Do you think things like Battle Factory, Battle Castle are where the game should go? Do you think it should be in the direction of new sets?
Actually, I didn't even think about that, but I'd like just make it into an entire battle frontier. Make it so like there's Battle Tower and other ways to do it, like the Battle Factory, for example. That's a good one. The Battle Arcade, or no, was it Arcade? I don't remember.
There's an arcade, I'm pretty sure.
Castle Arcade, and then there's the Gen 3 ones like the Pyramid, the Dome, Battle Dome.
Dude, I played very little Battle Frontier in Gen 3, actually. Like, all of my Battle Tower was in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, not gonna lie.
I think that's a good way to diversify mon usage as well, and kind of influence people to use different mons as a whole, because when you're talking about Battle Frontier and all these random game modes, you are put with a random team in some of them, and maybe some players aren't really informed on how good certain mons are. I think Battle Tower does a good job on really showing you what a mon can do, though, especially with the sets that are pre-made. Like, you see Bastion a lot of the times, and Bastion kicks people's ass if they don't know how to deal with it, right?
Yeah, it's funny because when I lended my Battle Tower team from someone, they told me watch out for Bastion, and literally the first battle I found 3 in the same trainer.
No,
and I showed him that, and he's like, dude, I've never seen that before.
You also mentioned
you go. Oh no, you can, nope, you.
Okay. Smooge, bro, you mentioned that it is a viable money grind. Also, do you think the shop needs more tweaks to it? Like, we have the Zygarde mount that just got added. But what do you think about the shop as a whole?
I think for Battle Tower specifically, you could probably add more Pokemon you can roll there. But as for like items, I have no idea. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's some useless items in there. Like I don't think you should ever buy a Flame Orb or a Toxic Orb, even though
Everstone.
I definitely bought one from there, but
Ouch.
Like, it's usually not worth buying them from there. Like, Everstone is nice, I guess, but like, I can think of like maybe one time I've ever needed an Everstone for anything.
I guess I can say what I was going to say, because it kind of goes along the lines of what you asked. From my experience in Battle Tower, or just having that edition as a whole, because I was around, when the update dropped. When it dropped, Sing Stones were crazy good. I've always said, and I think a lot of people have said, Sing Stone is the best item in PPO, easily. I would argue.
Right behind
it's
AFK
way
God.
okay. It's way too valuable to not have a Sing Stone, and I think that with Sing Stones being as cheap as they are now, it's letting players get into the game a little bit more. But at the time of my purchase, it was 35 mil, right? So, and it was even more expensive sometimes, but I spent 35 mil on this Sing Stone. And as a player grinding for that to sell, you're getting a lot of money per battle. Like, you know you're getting a lot of money per battle. Nowadays, it's like, yeah, you're still making some money, but the grind is super hard to stick with and stay motivated on. I was going for Zygarde when double Battle Tower tokens came out. That's like the best. That was one of the best days ever because that was the only time I was going to do Battle Tower. And a lot of other people had the same feeling. Me and Mad Season were talking about just grinding, no lifing Battle Tower that day just so we could get our roll done. Because I am not trying to ever get another Zygarde. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, like I'm still working on my Zygarde. I have no interest in a Sync Stone because I already have one. So I've been grinding for Zygarde. I've been stuck at like halfway for like almost a week now because I'm just like I'm completely burnt out. Plus the Pokemon I was lending have been taken away from me.
But, yeah. If you don't have like a good team, like a top tier team, you know, and you're trying to get these Mons, these legends, these like Sync Stones as a new player, it's just really hard. And it is an end game area, but I just feel like there's got to be more motivation added to it. Maybe the era of Battle Tower is coming to an end. I don't know, but
I don't know. But I wish it would unban 1,000 Arrows from fucking Ubers because there's literally no reason for it to be banned there, and Zygarde would actually be useful. But I just
it might just be broken in the engine.
Any bugs? Couldn't be.
Yeah, it might just be bugs.
Nope, it's not bug.
Never heard of any bugs. Not in Battle Tower either.
I'm just a little salty about it because Zygarde is so good in Ubers, at least right now. Probably if it had 1,000 Arrows.
Yeah, sure.
An adamant one.
I want to careful. I'm gonna.
What nature did you roll, Kip?
Adamant.
Oh. You fucking bitch.
Stupid.
Of course it sinks.
Yeah, of course. The one that and Jirachi, I wish they both did because Jirachi's just gross.
I need a Jirachi too, man. So many things I have to grind for that I just know aren't gonna sink.
Grinding PP, man. Got to get that PP on.
Gotta spam your left click every hour.
Yeah.
All right.
It just expired.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too long ago.
The Battle Tower though, that it's not the most fun. It's one of those things that's just like mundane for the first 200, and then once you get past that, you actually have to start paying attention. But
it sounds like all you guys kind of enjoy the option of having Battle Tower there. It's just not in the best spot, though, right? That's kind of what I'm like. There's nothing broken about Battle Tower where it's just breaking the game or the economy. It's just not as enjoyable recently.
So originally, Battle Tower was crazy good, like insane. Like you made way too much money there, but over time, obviously, everybody is getting a Sync Stone, and it just completely just lowered the value of even going there. I think it needs to be in the game because it is a new experience and adds some sort of diversity in the gameplay that you have.
Mm-hmm.
I think like as a new player, getting a Sync Stone is probably should be very high on your priority list.
Yeah. But then it's just like, am I really going to go grind my ass off for a Sync Stone when I could just buy one? Hell no.
Exactly.
Like, that's my opinion.
Exactly. Let the people that love it. I don't even know who loves
that, dude.
Smooge loves it.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
He loved it for a good 3 weeks.
No, I never loved it. It was just easy, and it was.
You're lying to me.
What do you mean?
I know
no.
it.
I like finding new strategies that work. That's something I do like. Like I want to break Battle Tower. If I'm ever banned in this game, it's because I found something fucking broken.
Wait, Battle Tower having something broken and people getting banned?
Shut up. Hey, Smooge, do you have anything else to add about BT though?
Any Quiver Dance Keldeos around?
Right. So anyway, Cody Maverick, shout out. Okay,
whoa.
I brought up the kind of question there, like, do you guys think anything is broken about Battle Tower? Because that question transitions into my next topic that I'm also going to let Smooge take over. But I think World Boss is kind of broken to the point where there's an actual argument that it's so broken it could be removed. So
I think it should never have been in the game, but
I'm gonna let you two actually, Kip and Smooge. I'm gonna let you two talk about this one.
the world boss guru and then my ass. Here we go.
I like World Boss as a concept. I do think it is probably too profitable. Like, I've probably dumped 60 mil at least into World Boss, and I've easily made that back in less than a year. The amount of money you can actually make from World Boss is incredible, because not only can you sell the eggs that people will buy, especially near 2x shiny days. Like, I hoard all my eggs until the 2x shiny days, and I'll sell them because they go for a lot more on those days. And then mystery boxes are another one that you can sell. They always go for a decent chunk of money, and you usually get a lot of them when you do good damage to the world boss. Definitely getting world boss Pokemon in the first place is hard, but once you have it, you start making a lot more money than you put in. And I think it's a little too much.
Yeah, I just don't like the idea of like the charms being a drop from it, because it's RNG on top of RNG.
Yeah, I still have not gotten one.
Like like a hunter charm. If you get lucky, you literally just make like 130, 140 KK.
Yeah, if you wait until like Christmas, you can make 150.
Yeah. And Lime and I have talked about it in the past for like make it a drop somewhere else where it's like a difficult grind, but you can get it from grinding like an AD land grind, he said in the past. But like, make a new area that's even harder to grind. You need to prestige pokes or something that make it so that they can actually kill stuff, and then make it a drop there.
And
just like not make it full RNG, make it an RNG drop, and that you can get at any point in the day rather than every 2 days, and you have to get lucky during that 15 minutes.
I'm gonna preface something by saying I don't really do World Boss anymore. I sold my mom, so a lot of the input I'm gonna give is kind of naysayer in nature, just because I don't know. I don't enjoy World Boss anymore. Like, personally, I'm just gonna, like, for anyone listening, I'm gonna have a lot of negative takes about World Boss, but it's just my opinion. I think it's just fair to say. My problem with World Boss is I entirely agree with you, Kip, that I think, and Lime, I suppose, that the Hunter Charm drops or other drops should be somewhere in a new map, somewhere that requires a prestige in order to grind there. But the problem to me is you don't really have the option to do that if world bosses are still in the game in their current form.
Yeah.
World boss is very hard topic to touch on, because world boss is like the foundation of so many people's economy. The way they made like a majority of their money was from world boss. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing is up to the person. But
Shout out Opper.
Yeah. But the variance of rewards from these is so crazy absurd. Like, I'll just give my personal experience. I grinded world boss kind of hard initially, and then I just didn't really care. But I randomly went to Raikou boss and got a Hunter Charm with literally one Garchomp and a Doug Trio. So the fact that that's even possible is kind of concerning, because you shouldn't be able to just reload, get 130 mil for doing nothing essentially. And charm chance is so low. It's like 27.5k or whatever. Like, I feel like it's just so hard. You can't be putting items that are that valuable in such a random machine, you know what I mean?
The fucking lottery, dude.
Yeah.
And just getting the top 3 damage is RNG in itself. Before, if you knew the strats to a world boss, that was your weapon, was knowing what people don't know. With Giratina boss being released, the Crocodile strat completely exposed. That kind of destroyed a lot of bosses. Recently we saw, I know Smogon's probably known about this, the chestnut strap for Darkrise.
Bro.
So I'm
Uh,
of the opinion of I think the world boss strats being very hidden is kind of stupid, and I don't like it. So
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's like a necessary thing. I'm just saying that's the condition the game was in before. Like if
yeah,
you had a strat and you knew it, that was how you got your rewards, was because nobody else did, right?
yeah, but we're at a point where like everyone kind of knows. At least like I don't know a single person who doesn't know how to do like psychic world bosses. You know.
Yep.
So like
And that's good, but my issue comes in where, yes, everybody knows. Now it's up to, hey, are you gonna get graced 30 times for no reason, or are you gonna
Punished.
just completely
Punished.
luck out? You know what I mean?
dude, I last night in the world boss, oh my god, I almost lost my fucking mind.
Because even one singular grace nowadays, you can lose your entire run, you lose
Yeah,
your
it's
top
all
three.
about timing with that too. Like, if it
Yeah.
happens at the beginning, it's whatever. But like mid, you're just like, oh, dude.
Yeah, midway is the worst.
Yeah.
In
And I
all
get,
these conversations you guys brought up, it just really pokes holes in World Boss to me. I don't know that maybe it's not the healthiest in its current form.
I definitely
I
think
get
it needs a rework, but I feel like you might end up fucking a lot of people by reworking it. So it's kind of like hard to say like how they should rework it, you know?
And that's difficult because I'm kind of bringing up like maybe that should happen, but I guess kind of the argumentative take is what is worse? Is it worse to let something we deem to be broken and completely
Nerf the drop.
RNG?
There you
Is
go.
it worth to keep it going in its current format, or do you want to kind of shoot a bullet in this before it gets even more out of hand?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd want to put it down.
I kind of want to put it down too.
Yeah, kill it and put it down. Just send it into the fucking whatever it's called, abyss. Yeah, that word. Send it
I
into the
was
void.
just gonna say, I don't really know what we should do with it, but I do know, like many things that has happened to this game, like the damage is already done. I feel like um
Okay.
we can't reverse this process and just like single resets.
It's like when he made those eggs tradable from bosses too. Like
Yeah,
that, like kind of ruined everything too in terms of like dexing and all that. And then making legend eggs available to the top 3 instead of number 1, things like that. He changed that at one point because it was just number 1 that had the chance.
I
Now it's
remember
the
that
top
too.
3, which I don't like. But obviously, I don't like the idea of legend eggs in general.
Yeah, do you mind elaborating that at all? Like, that's kind of the one topic we skipped over in favor of charms, but yeah, what do you think about legend eggs? Like, what's your raw, honest thoughts?
I think they were just a bad addition. Because like cherish balls, they're there, whatever, it's the lottery, whatever you get out of it. But like with eggs, you can kind of pinpoint what you want and not have to grind as much as somebody else that's been, hunting it for 150k LLE, something like that.
And I
And then
find it
it's on
really,
top of it, it's RNG. Like I don't mind it like in PvP tournaments, like having the chance to have a legend egg, that's whatever, because that actually takes some brain. So,
sure.
I don't know. I just world bosses and the idea of legend eggs in them is just but
So for you, kind of, it's about this deck. So the fact that, because there was a world boss change where the legend eggs became untradeable. And to you, that maybe wasn't enough then, right? And
yeah. Because I mean, I didn't really like them being added to the start, but like once they're added, it's like okay, I bought a Zapdos egg because it was there. And then
and
obviously the gifted Giratina egg, but
yes, I was gonna say this is heavy coming from you because you're one of the few people in the game with the Giratina dex. But
yeah,
if anything,
I would
hopefully they
rather that
listen.
be somewhere else
I used that
than
Giratina
the
in a
world
video.
boss.
Yeah, you did.
You did so
That's a
low,
good-ass
lent
video.
it to you. But yeah, I would just rather see Giratina being able to be farmed elsewhere, and then
Same.
just like legend eggs, I don't like the idea of them. It's just my thoughts. Obviously, it's a reason for people to go to boss, but at the same time, there's like other things that they can go to boss for than just the legend eggs. So
I don't. I really don't like legend eggs as well, because of how easily accessible some of these legends were for people. But I think having them is still something that is sought after for certain players, and I think they do provide an entertainment value to the game that it needs. When you're talking about like tournaments, for example, I know this is PvP, but if you see a legend egg in the tourney, it implies that more people are going to go, right? And that's a better player experience to grind for something that's actually worth something. Like Ice Beam TM for a tournament prize during Christmas event is just god awful.
That's a joke, yeah.
And it happens, but I think legend eggs should be present in the game still, just available in a different way. Because bosses make them too easily obtained, I think. Well, I don't think I know, but or I feel, but I don't know. Tourney legend eggs might be good. Other things, but
I think the issue with those is that they were made tradable. If they were never made tradable, maybe I'd have a different opinion. But when they were made tradable, it's just kind of made my opinion on them different.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it was a step in the right direction, but it doesn't solve the issue. And like I like what you said, Lime, about the damage of the game already from having some of these things in, as long as they were implemented. So I don't know what changing it now is going to fix, but
that's a big problem in our current climate of the game is that the damage has been done. I've said this before. It's just there are so many things that are irreversible, just because of how like impactful they were. I mean, look at single resets right now. Like you cannot. You're guaranteed to be facing perfect mons in queue now. A lot of the time, almost all the time. And that's just how it's going to be. Legend eggs, people have legends everywhere now. So, I don't know.
I mean, all that, you're just speaking facts, man.
It's very hard to recover, and it hurts me to say that because I do enjoy this game. I had enjoyed this game for a really long time, and I haven't said this like publicly before. I obviously don't find nearly as much enjoyment as I should, and I feel like that's why I kind of would like things to change, but
absolutely. So what would you rather do about the world boss? Would you rather rework it or would you rather remove it? What do you think is the move?
I don't know if removing it entirely is the play. I do agree that it's fucking terrible right now, but I think it should be less RNG. I would like to see the removal of graces. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think people should be rewarded for having good mons, having good ways to set up the strats, being efficient, and just, knowing what to do, right? Like, you can increase the H pool of the boss, get rid of the graces, and just rely on the RNG of, like, critical hits or whatever, and I feel like that would be better off than what we have now, but maybe that's just my opinion. Terrible opinion, but I feel like it should still be in the game, just kind of more skill-based. I don't know.
I agree, actually. Fuck Grace.
Like, why not just increase the HP pool and just have people rely on like setting up better or like being at the boss at the right time, punishing people that show up late. Like, I don't know.
It would make it more skill based. You're right. So this guy comes up mad season with like 18 billion critical hits.
Oh no. Mad doesn't really go to boss right now.
He doesn't.
Yeah. So you're
It's
safe.
just the first name that came to mind.
Do you have much else to add on this, Smooge? I mean, you knew you were going to talk about this for a while. You got much else to add?
If there is any world boss changes, I'd at least like to see more bosses in general. Not more bosses, I guess, and more often, but like different bosses, like Why is there a Yveltal boss in Halloween, but not a Xerneas boss in Christmas? It just doesn't make sense. Or Celebi boss in, like, Easter.
Ever. Yeah.
I think it would be cool to see like a Gudra boss.
Yeah, I was
That'd be
gonna
sick.
say actually, like, if you're gonna rework bosses, like, why does it have to be limited to legends? I mean, I think you could do some pseudos in there.
Gudra boss.
Okay, Gudra, but also like
Anything
Garchomp boss,
else? Any other,
Eradicate.
fully evolved Pokemon?
Eradicate, Puff, Smoochum. Yo, dude, Anub would log on actually for Smoochum
Jinx
boss.
boss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't have much else to add about World Boss. So
Power
Smooge,
Trip
if you want to add
destroy
anything.
that boss.
What?
I said Power Trip is gonna annihilate that boss. Oh my god. 50,000 damage a turn.
That's so true.
Bad. So I don't know. I like World Boss because I make something from it. So that's my opinion.
I mean, that's definitely not a biased opinion.
Valid.
I'm not biased
Phase
at all.
head.
I'm making money, so I don't
Shmoney.
care if it's broken.
Yeah,
But
fair
it's
enough.
definitely broken. It's definitely broken. But I hope that it doesn't get changed soon, so I can keep abusing it.
Well, you heard it here. Like, I mean, this is all it takes on World Boss. So
I'm sure there are people out here watching as well that completely disagree with us. A lot of players think that boss is like really good where it's at, and it's just up to player preference. Like
They
if
just
you like
making money.
RNG, yeah, if you like RNG and making money, like sure, but in terms of health of the game, I think we have to criticize it a little bit because it is damaging.
I 100% agree. And just remember, we're four like-minded individuals all in the same call. Definitely adding someone else that maybe had more positive things to say about World Boss would be good, but
Who would that be?
I find it very hard to. I guess that's as far as I'll go. So we have two more small topics to discuss here until we get to the end of the podcast. And I think this one could go a little long too, but we'll see. It's about map control. I think there's, the purpose of clans are two different things. Ooh, gagged.
It was me. It was me.
It was you. So being in a clan has a few purposes outside of the social aspects. You can go to clan wars and you can participate in map control. Am I literally missing anything there?
Don't think
You
so.
can go have
No.
fishing parties in like Toto Cave.
Social purposes. So I find map control to be very underpowered for one of the purposes of the clan, and I don't know. It's funny. We're like going through the list. Like, is this overpowered, underpowered, overpowered? Like nothing. I hate to be negative, but yeah, I feel like map control isn't really in a good spot either, is my honest opinion. I think map control could use a little bit of a rework, either new locations, making the spawns more interesting. And one thing I'll really touch on that I talked to Lime about before this call is the RNG element of map control, where it's entirely dependent how much money you make based on the people that go there the next week.
Yeah,
I think that's just broken.
I was
think that
gonna
makes
say
no
something.
sense.
Like Gimpy Gang making 150 mil for nothing.
Yeah, it's like you should make. It should be half of what you did encounter wise, and then like I don't know, your encounters from the previous week should factor into what you make. But at the same time, I don't even think like there should be a money payout. I feel like the map control shop, the OSA suggestion, do something where there's another shop, you take out the money aspect so it's not like RNG, you have to rely on other clans to participate the next week. I think that's horrible. I think it should be all on what your clan did rather than what other people are doing that affects your clan. Because, like, what was it? Peacemakers and that other bird? I
Yeah.
don't even know who it was. They, like, both grinded
Night
out a
Raiders, maybe?
shitload. Yeah.
It's
They
just
just
Spanos
grinded
and
it.
Net Raiders.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just grinded out a shitload, and then I'm pretty sure, like, the next week.
Gimpy Gang just got 150 mil
Yeah.
for free.
Yeah.
And even then, that's It's just not that much, honestly.
Yeah, even like that, like Gibby Gang is probably like, oh
Yeah.
man, we got a lot of money, but at the same time, like the top grinder in their clan maybe got what, 8 mil, 10 mil?
Yeah, it's like split between 20 people, assuming they had 20.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
would've had
it can be,
more.
it can be split. It can be split through more depending on how many people
Oh, yeah,
got warrior
that's
and not.
true.
But
Um,
this whole topic significantly impacts like me in this game. I think like just I'm not just saying it's centered on me. I'm just saying this is kind of the reason why I even play this game or had played this game. Because like I started off being a little noob, trying to see what I could do to get better, and like I got pulled into map control pretty fast. I played map control with Pandemonium as well. That was another clan. Shout out to Pandemonium players as well. But and they were thought to be like one of the best at the time, and I thought I was like doing something fun, like getting kills with all the clanmates, like battling against another, clan, but it's gotten so much worse. And obviously I made Illumination, which was at one point a clan that did map control, but and that was our identity, I would say. And that
It's
is
just
not the
hard to
case
keep it
anymore.
alive.
Yeah, there's so much that can be changed. There's like such a better way to do things, and it's just not being done. And I don't know if that's a case of time management or resource allocation, but I do think map control is a huge part of the game, and I would love to see something happen to it.
I agree. Think of the structure of this almost 2.5 hour video so far, where we started off talking about all this overworld grinding, item drops, places to grind, legendary odds, and then you also think we're all part of the clan, man. And that clan in this game, I hate to be all wishy-washy, man, but that's kind of your family. That's the reason you keep playing this game, to do things socially. That's why you play a Pokemon MMO. And the fact that map control feels so underpowered, so luck based, like it's honestly just a dead part of the game, quite frankly. I think that really takes away. Like, if you look at all the topics of this video and what we talked about, so much of this can tie into improving map control, which is a few things, which I honestly think something more drastic has to be done, like a complete overhaul of map control. But a lot of the simple suggestions we said really do tie into making it better.
Yeah, and I guess technically in map control, you're even like partly competing against your clanmates too. Like just trying to get more money than the other people that you're grinding with. So it's
That's
just
true.
kind
It
of
is a
like,
little bit of friendly competition.
yeah. So I don't know.
I think
One
a
of those.
shop is a good idea. I think adding credits to map control can be a good idea. And I also think that making it no longer all like winner takes all is also probably the most important idea,
Yeah,
other than the actual payments.
that was
Pay
mine
out
too.
second, pay out third. Especially if you're kind of giving credits for winning clans, which can be a little difficult to implement, I'm not going to lie, but could be as simple as a constructed math equation. You could split up a certain amount of credits among players, and the first clan, the second clan. I don't know if you do like credits and you do map control tokens for a map control shop, but I put some thought into it. I don't really know what you put into a map control shop.
Yeah, and how hard would it be to like track kills in a certain like map so that you could actually like have a kill count
I think
somehow?
very doable.
I
There is
just feel like
so
something like
much.
that is just like could be added to just to like help even with just counting like distributing money, just even if that's like one of the little tiny updates that happens.
So,
But
while some of the ideas we had were very specific, that's a more broad idea, I suppose. And I do believe that's confirmed to be coming at some point, or on the agenda, rather. Like, we won't have to manually counter kills anymore at some point, but dude, it doesn't end there for me. Like,
yeah, I know.
literally, there needs to be so much more done. Yeah, you would agree, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Usually with PPO it's like baby steps. So
Map control is a little enjoyable for me, just in the sense that if you're grinding with friends, that's sometimes all you really need to be playing a game like this. I can't be super negative and say grinding always sucks. I can't always say I have nothing to do in this game because none of that is true. But it can be so much better.
Hey.
Congrats,
Oh my god, I
Smooge.
did. It's timid. It's timid. Oh my god.
It's timid.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna kill it.
Shout out TSK
Do it on
Jackson.
video too.
Killing it on video. It's
Yeah,
dead.
do it.
It's dead.
Good.
Oh, not yet. Well, it's going to die.
You didn't
No, I'm gonna
want-
poison
Oh,
it
you
to
have a
death.
caterpillar.
I'm gonna poison it to death. I'm gonna make him suffer. Fucking Gyarados. Timid Gyarados.
Yeah, I don't know. Map control is like a big piece of this game, and I think it's like obviously the reason why I kept playing was because of map control. Map control is like so much fun if you just have it done right. Like I enjoy grinding, I enjoy putting in hours and like being on top. You know what I mean? Like good competition is super healthy, but like okay. But
Yeah, I hear you.
good competition is like super healthy for the game, and it's just hard to see such a decline, especially with the player base. I mean, it's gonna be hard to recover.
I caught it.
No, what the
Oh,
fuck? You fucking
I couldn't do it. I couldn't
poser.
do it. I couldn't do it, man. I'm sorry.
I heard something. I knew something was up. I knew
Yeah.
something was up.
I think it was.
Let's
in
give it
regards
away
to
in the
your,
comments.
Yeah. You can leave a comment. You can have
You
it.
actually want to? Give
Yeah,
it give a
first
keyword.
comment. First comment can have my Gyarados.
All right, first comment gets the Gyarados on this
They're
video.
probably not even gonna know because
Alright,
we're not
I'm
gonna
camping.
get to this point.
you have to give a keyword then. Wait, scratch the
Alright,
first
alright,
comment. What's the
alright.
keyword?
Gyarados.
All right, cool. That's the keyword.
Here, you can
Camp in the
take it.
video.
All right, yeah, trade it to me. Ah, dude, are you guys about all set talking about map control here? Is there anything else you really want to add?
I mean, I could
It's
go on
dog
for
shit.
hours
Yeah,
talking
we
about
could.
all the things that I wish map control was but isn't. But I think people know. If you're a map control clan, you know what the problems are. If you're a newer player, I wouldn't really recommend getting into it right now. I know that sounds bad, but
Yeah, I think it needs more venom.
oh my god, he
No,
did it.
dude,
He
no,
did
no,
it.
we still have another topic. Wait.
I can't
No!
believe this. I can't believe you've done this.
So, dude, Lime, I wanted to transition into something that's important to you as well, just like map control. We find that doing stuff for the community is important right now for the game. Like you and I both agree.
I see where this is going.
Mm-hmm. And I know you recently hosted an event. So I wanted to kind of, just give a little personal interview here at the end. How do you think the encounter event went? Do you think more people should host things like that? Just give any hipfire thoughts.
So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, I, along with Tyler, Bareface, tons of community members, held an illumination event, which is my clan. We had a grinding event, which was purely PvE based during Christmas, just based on how many encounters you can get. Luck, tons of fun. It was meant to be a good thing, and I think it did help the community. But it's just not enough power, not enough juice to really revive it. But I think, and obviously, I got the idea from people before us, like Pandemonium did similar things when I was back in the day, kind of an inspiration. PPO communities, they've been doing it for a long time. But I think it was important for us to make a community event that really mattered and did something and allowed newer players to get involved as well. But just like, I don't know, spark a will to play the game again, because the game is dying. I think that's no secret to anybody who has been playing, but I don't know. It turned out pretty good, but it's just like there was a lot of time and effort put into it.
100%.
And it was really exhausting. But I think it was for the better. As far as people doing more stuff like that, we put a ton of resources into it, and I mean, I don't think we'll probably see a prize pool like that again. Maybe it can be done. It's just like not worth it. I don't know.
It has to be funded by Brody.
Wait, is the other guy broke?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just it's hard. I think people should do things like this. As far as the way we're gonna carry it out, it's really difficult to do. Like I said, me and you and Bareface and everybody planned it for. Honestly, we did it pretty efficiently on such short notice, but I'd had this idea for months. Yeah, it's a long process.
Yeah, and it was a lot of work, and I think it's just a good way to kind of end the video here talking about and reflecting on that, because I feel like, we've been kind of negative about the game, but like I kind of said in the last topic, oftentimes the community is one of the driving factors of this game, and the game is slowing down quite a bit, but I still think there's ways to bring the community together, even if it's small and over encounters and whatnot over holidays. But I do look at the Illumination event as a pretty positive time for the game when it just wasn't doing that well as a whole. That's kind of my 2 cents.
Yeah, I don't advocate for the death of the game by any means. I'm in this video right now in hopes of making a change. Like, I would love to see this game gain popularity again and strive to do better, like improve. I don't fancy the idea of completely removing myself from the community because I've been invested for so long. I hope we can do something to really make this game better. I don't know. It's hard to talk about because will there be changes from this video or any of the ideas we talked about? I don't know. Probably, maybe not.
We hope so, man. But I appreciate you being really raw.
I'm not usually this serious of a person, but like this is a chance for the game to change, and I feel like it has to happen sooner or later. Otherwise, it's like,
it's gonna be
what
too
else
late
is gonna happen?
What you say, Smooge?
At some point, it just might be too late.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I don't want that to happen either. Like, I make content in this game. Usually.
More often than me.
Yeah, more often than most. But,
yeah.
Like,
this game just has
enjoy
so
this
much
game.
to offer. Like, there's so many things to do.
This game has, like, the most potential out of any Pokemon MMO, in my opinion.
Huge take. But it's
Especially
all about that.
Smooge.
The Smooge seal of approval is a big deal.
Yeah, like, the potential means nothing, though, if, like, you don't, try to reach it.
100%.
No,
Yo, Kip, what do you think about the leader of Illumination?
Okay.
He is I don't know. There's one point where he's like, yeah, we're gonna do map control, and then he stopped doing that, and it's just been
Weird.
Yeah, I think the game is in a really healthy state and really popping right now. And I don't know what the leader's doing. It's like he's playing some other game or something.
I heard news that one of the Illumination generals is about to be demoted. An insider told me.
Oh no!
Shit, who's that? Abstar? Oh.
Yo, rip Abstar?
No.
Can't have a green name be a general and clan? Is that what you just said? You said that in a message to me.
Hey man, I'm not against green name discrimination. Smogon is in my map right now, and I'm perfectly fine with it.
Wait,
what about that other guy?
I'm one for oranges here.
I'm one for orange. Ben Green. He's alright.
So true.
Yeah, he been stinking like a fart.
That makes us out of topics, guys. Now there is still one event on the menu tonight. However, before we go ahead and wrap up this video,
I totally forgot. I'll be right back.
Type Garrus.
Yeah. Do you wanna stream it?
Hype in the chat. Hype in the chat.
I'll roll it and then I'll just send it to Smooge and he can show it if he has a spot in his party at least.
Well, before you roll
it, 8,000 gifted subs.
Let me know right before you're rolling it so I can start to do the outro and then you can roll it after, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just grabbing the naive sync real quick.
Alright, Smooge, let's go PC, bro.
Alright. Oh,
All right, I'm ready to roll whenever. I'm gonna do it right now, actually.
Well, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in to this longer podcast today. It was an important episode for sure. Talk about PvE, the future of the game. Good luck, Lime.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
Oh,
No, bro. Trade it to Smooge.
Yeah, where is he?
He should be in a PC.
Oh my god, bold, dude. Why? Dude, the
Not
bold
the-
curse.
Oh man, that's alright. I guess we go again.
Oh,
Damn, I'm actually forced into PvP for so long now. That hurts. Alright, that's alright. That's alright.
It's alright.
Make Victini grindable?
Make bold Victini grindable somewhere.
If you guys enjoyed the video or you want to see some bold Victini sets in the future, be sure to leave a like in the video, subscribe to the channel. Go check out the links in the description. You'll see Smooge's channel, his Twitch, Kip's Twitch, his YouTube channel for his next 2,000 egg rolls. And be sure to message Lime in game.
Oh, bruh, come
Venom.
on, man. No, not that.
Venom. They won't know what hit 'em.
All right, end the video already. Get us out of here, bro.
All right.
This was sick.
Shawty's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like.
Oh my god.
Oh, wait.
As he
I just
moved
realized
around his-
I just realized I'm the one recording, so I have to end the video.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, nah, nah. Every day.
Thanks
You
for
are-
thanks
Got
for
300
watching.
turns stuck on replay.